Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Nice. Okay.
absolutely can. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hey everybody, it's me, Orcish, and Bee's Knees. We're here with another episode of the Zug of the Bug.
Mm-hmm.
We're here with Tanklovesyou, who is a community manager for Wild RP, and he also plays Deputy Marshal Ortega. So welcome.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm good. Oh, and I also play Julius Bradshaw, the Jade King. The other night, someone knew me as Jade King and not as Ortega, and that was mind-blowing to me. I was like, I've hit that point, finally.
You've reached it. It's the pinnacle.
All right, so well, Tank, did you have a lot to do with the new rules that came out? Were you part of crafting those?
Welcome to the burrow.
That was such a group effort. Honestly, I feel like I was more I made everything pretty on the wiki. That was my job. I definitely had input, but no, that was a big team effort, which I think is awesome. There's definitely some things, with staff that kind of fall more on one person's shoulders than the other, but that was one of like the most collaborative things I think we've even done as far as major server changes go.
Okay, nice. Yeah. How do you feel the reception to these rules has gone so far on the server?
I think mostly it's been people trying to kind of wrap their heads around it, right? Because it's such a big change. Before I even made it go live, I was like, please everybody look over this, make sure that everything makes sense for people, who may not be, not part of making these rules, right? We want to make sure everything is grammatical, because it's such a big change. Law is an ever evolving thing. It has been from the beginning, especially when it comes to the penal code, right? From where we started on day one of the server to where we are now, it is hugely different. So as far as reception goes, I've definitely heard all sorts of different opinions on it. I think the biggest thing for a lot of people is just, how does this affect their RP? How does this affect their decisions? All that kind of stuff. And so figuring out kind
Welcome to
of
the
how
burrow.
to maybe adjust behaviors or take that into account when making a character decision, right? I think that's kind of where a lot of people are at right now, is just kind of figuring out where it's all going to settle, how everybody's going to feel about it long term.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the craziest thing about the new sort of system, because I know, Tank, that you've worked pretty tirelessly, especially with law stuff, right? Like that's been a big part of your staff commitment, right?
Yeah.
So I imagine that for you, the sort of relief of having it done, but the nerves of having to, see how everything goes from here on out must be kind of interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I feel good about it because, like I said, like everything else, it can be adjusted as needed if we find some things are too harsh or just not working for whatever reason, right? It's like nothing is ever set in stone. Like I was saying, like compared to where we were at the beginning of the server, where there was barely any consequence, you could attempt to murder somebody and you're in jail for 15 minutes and back out, kind of thing. Like it's a huge thing. And we've seen times in the past where we've made a decision, we felt, okay, we went too far in one direction, we're going to swing the pendulum back a little bit, because it's a balancing act. It is a constant balancing act, and that was a huge reason kind of why this rule set came into play, is because we were seeing that the law was being kind of loot boxed, basically, right? Oh, I see that person, I'm going to steal their gun, kind of thing. There's no real RP behind it. It's just, I know they have a good gun, so I'm going to grab it. And then two was that we were seeing that it was just a constant point of conflict, where it's the easy conflict, right? You want to get some conflict going. You want that conflict super fun in role play, right? An easy one is, oh, I hate law, I'm gonna attack law, I'm gonna target law, that kind of thing. And not that those things can't be amazing for story. Some of my absolute favorite moments playing Law have been times where I have been picked up and shot or targeted, whatever the case, right? But when that becomes the norm and it feels like people aren't really like the consequences of those actions and the gravity of those actions aren't really being played out the way that we kind of want to see them, that's where we step in and kind of like, okay, you want to come at law, but there's going to be consequences for it. And I think that's one of the big things that makes Red Dead different, but especially Wild RP different, is that we constantly preach, right, that actions have consequences and in character actions have consequences, and we want those actions against the law to feel like a big deal when they happen, and to also kind of help stave off burnout and law players feeling like they are just constantly getting treated like a punching bag, right? We want them to feel like they have some power in their position and power to do their job and that sort of thing as well, without constantly being just outnumbered, because that's the bottom line, right? There's always going to be more criminals than law. That's just the way it's going to be. And so you want to kind of tip those scales in a way where the people as law feel empowered to do their job, and then criminals again also have that sense of, sure, I can make this move against them, but there's going to be repercussions for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, well, me and B have both played Law characters, and
Mhm.
Law loses a lot, which is fine. I think most people that apply, they know that going in. Uh, and because Law never draws first, they draw second in almost every scenario, so they're gonna lose most of the time, which is fine. But like you said, like when we're outnumbered, I talk about this with my chat all the time, and basically, like, how I kind of figure it out is if the if on the server, if at any given time, about half of the population, is at least half are criminals, and so it'd be nice to have like 15% or so be law to kind of, I think that's a good balance. And before that was not happening, but for the past, I don't know if you noticed or not, Tank, but lately we have had quite a few law on, which has been really nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is very interesting though, because I mean, especially with Ortega, who's been around for as long as he has, um, I suppose that you must have had like a favorite time period for the lore in terms of, when it's been the most fun or the sort of storylines that have happened in regards to lore and the sort of stuff that's happened there. Do you have anything in particular that comes to mind?
Mm, that's so hard.
Mhm. Well, especially because you've been doing this for a really fucking long time. So
Yeah.
I imagine that it's, like, very difficult to just, like, pick one thing.
Ortega turned a year old back in August, which was mind blowing to me. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's been around for a long time.
Mhm.
Uh, I would say, oh God, it's hard because there's different moments that I've loved for very different reasons. Uh, I loved the excitement of the Langang arc for sure. I remember specifically the night when the Bacchus Bridge shootout happened, and I was the one who spotted Langang coming into town and was like waving Logan back, and we were hiding behind the barn, just like spying
Yeah,
on
do you
him
wanna
and
give
stuff.
people, like, a bit of a lowdown real quick, just from your
Mhm.
perspective? Because I think that a lot of people, especially, like, Orcish and stuff, are kind of newish to the server, so don't necessarily understand all the, Lang Gang kinda story.
I have no
So
idea
if
what the
you
Langang is at all.
Yeah,
I've heard about
so
it
if
twice in
you
character, I think.
Yeah. So if you wanna kinda go over that, because it was that entire storyline was fucking massive for the server at the time. So if you wanna
Yeah.
go over it from the lore perspective.
No, absolutely. So Langang was the first major outlaw gang that had any like significant power, staying power on the server. They became the main antagonist or protagonist, depending on how you look at it, of season one, season two, And DiCenzo's, also kind of came to around that time as well. But of course, they're more the organized crime, right? Langang were the true first outlaws, and so I came in on Ortega right at the beginning of season two. So like there'd already been a lot of back and forth with Langang and the law. And there's two role players, Fist of the Walrus, who played Sheriff Timers, and Steel Rain, who played Moses Maddox, who were like the two kind of sheriffs heading off this conflict into season one, and then the both of them kind of dropped off into season two, and that's kind of where I came into things. And so basically, the storyline is there was this Lang Gang versus Law thing, and then it came to a head where there was they were basically occupying Saint Denis. The law wasn't even able to, because of course this is back when we were 32 slot server. Law was not able to maintain control of Saint Denis, so Langang essentially occupies Saint Denis. They declare martial law that no one is to be entering or exiting Saint Denis, or they're going to be assumed to be an ally of the Langang until they get this situation handled. And eventually the army comes in and they do this whole big event with people playing, like army characters and stuff. And they basically kick Langang out of Saint Denis, and they hijack a train. They ride the train to Valentine, and they burn down Valentine. And that was how season one ended. And it was a beautiful event. It was really, really cool. Very cinematic, but hold on, sorry, I'm getting an echo right now. What is happening? Okay. But basically, after that, one, we realized that it was not plausible to do events like that. As cool as it was just there were so many moving pieces and schedules and all that stuff. It was kind of like it was just a one-time deal, which is too bad. But I think there's also something to be said for things that are just much more organic and that sort of thing, right? And anyway, so they burned down Valentine, and that was kind of where season one ended. And season two is they're rebuilding Valentine, that sort of thing. And it just like it goes on for a while with just them on the run. All these different story beats happen. Like Sheriff Wynn, another one of the major sheriffs at that time, ends up shooting Billy Hill, one of the major members of the gang, while he's unarmed in a cell because he was taunting Sheriff Wynn, basically threatening Sheriff Wynn's fiance at the time.
Mhm.
And so like there's and then it ends up with a bunch of permas. There's like a big execution. The Philly the Kid was executed. Max died. She died as part of the Bacchus shootout.
Yeah, Max was there. Yeah,
That I couldn't remember which event she died, but she died in part of. But it was because of
yeah,
the
she
Bacchus
died at the
shootout.
Bacchus Bridge shootout.
But yeah, and yeah, it was a really exciting time, I think, for a lot of people, just because everything was so new. We were still figuring out kind of how the server worked and what the RP would look like and that kind of thing. And for me personally, right, I was still learning law. I had my very first major shootout was that Bacchus Bridge shootout. I had not been in like a big PvP shootout before that. So it was a very interesting time. Just everything was new and exciting, and again, a lot of like the server was kind of finding its footing at that point still.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is a really interesting time. I mean, like I remember when that stuff was all happening, how intense it all was, or the intensity of everything because the server was so small. And so, basically, um, it was one of those chaotic things where because everybody was so interconnected, everybody was super fucking involved in everything that was happening, which was awesome, but also fucking crazy because if you think that I again touched on this in a podcast a little while ago, but like the game of miscommunication is bad now. It was even worse uh, back then
Was
Mm-hmm.
it really?
because it was really, yeah, because the community was so small, and I'm sure Tank could back me up on this. Because the community was so small, it was super gossipy, And of course, it was like one of those things where everybody's like, well, we can definitely trust their information. There was a lot of people who were like, no, I've known XYZ for a really long time. They wouldn't lie. And there was just like, it was like from my
Huh.
memory, it was bad. Um, and I remember that there were lots of things where people were like, "Oh, did you hear that this person's associated with the Land Gang?" Because they like walked past them and stuff. And then it became like a game of who is and who isn't, and it was super crazy. And I remember that time, and I remember the lore, especially because back then, I'm pretty sure it was a relatively small lore team at that time, right, Tank?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was consistently like the same people chasing the same people, like back and forth, back and forth.
Oh
And
yeah,
it was
I think I got robbed by Lang Gang. I don't even know how many times. I was the first person ever actually robbed by Lang Gang. Fun fact.
uh didn't you have a running tally with them for the amount of times that they robbed you?
I wish I'd kept track of it. I didn't, but it was a lot. It was
Yeah.
definitely a lot. The one that frustrated me the most was Sheriff Wynn and I, because we would be the two of us often, literally just the two of us, riding against the Lang Gang most nights, and we were riding into Strawberry, and I crashed, and I was so mad because I had a feeling we were going to run into Lang, because Lang Gang spent a lot of time in Strawberry at this point, and sure enough, I logged back in to Sheriff Wynn being held at gunpoint. I was just so mad because I was like, "There's no way we could react to that, right? There's nothing we could do because I crashed." I was just like, "Oh, I knew it. I knew something was going to happen, and I crashed. So I couldn't do anything about it."
It's always the way it goes. The amount of times, and this is me speaking from personal experience, the amount of times that something really intense is happening. Literally, I can go the entire day with nothing going on with my character. Like I won't run into anybody, I won't see
Yeah.
anybody, nothing's going on. My house is quiet. And it's literally the second that something intense is happening, like, there's a shootout or I'm being robbed or there's some sort of like very intense emotional scene happening, is the moment that like my game crashes, or that like I just have a ridiculous amount of noise happening in the background of my house.
Yeah.
Just it's so fucking inconvenient and it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I also feel like super amounts of guilt because especially when my game crashes like in the middle of fights and stuff, because I'm like, I don't want anybody to look at that and go, they're logging out to try and, you know, get some kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, leverage over the situation.
Hmm.
And it's also a case of you don't really know what to do once you log back in. Like I've crashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've crashed in the middle of like gunfights before and then ended up, because everybody's like kind of moving backwards and forwards trying to, chase after each other, ended up on the other side of the gang that we've been shooting. And I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, I don't want to seem like I got the opportunity here, or something went wrong. So I literally will like run over to them and I'll be like, please shoot me. Because I
What?
just don't know. Because I just don't, I'm like, I don't know. I panic. I don't necessarily understand what the correct thing to do in that situation is. I'm like, I don't know what you're
hmm.
supposed to do. I like, oh fuck. So usually I'll just kind of wander over or try and find some way to make my way back over to the people that I'm with if I
Yeah.
can. But a lot of the time I just get shot and I'm like, okay. And I feel guilt and panic.
A lot
I
of
don't
time
have
you ask them in character to shoot you.
I don't think I've ever asked in character
Okay.
for anybody to shoot me.
That's what it sounded like.
No. I don't think I've ever actively gone up to somebody and be like, please shoot me. I think that'd be, the little old NVL rule that we all appreciate here.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
want to make sure that we're taking care of that and respecting that rule.
So Tank, there are a lot of plans for the server over the next year. Kano went over them. He went over them as much as he could, I think, in the last community meeting, and there's a lot of really exciting stuff. I know the next patch is supposed to be LEO stuff, a lot of LEO stuff. I've heard that there's going to be like evidence, that there's going to be a new report system, which is desperately needed. And And I think evidence is really important too. And honestly, I think that all the rule changes and everything, all that stuff, it's going to have such a different impact. Everything's going to have such a different impact on the server when there's evidence, right?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think it's one of those things, right, where the problem is right now is there is
Things I put on
such
this
an
garage
onus
every
on
day.
criminals to leave evidence, and I think that's super important. I mean, not everyone has to go quite as overboard as I would go with Julius, where he would literally sign notes saying, "I did this, crime," because he's an egomaniac. Uh, but like it's hard because right, you have to send anonymous tips in, you have to leave details. You have to do all these things, right? Because otherwise, that there is no way. So you can say, oh, well, prove I committed this crime, and as law role players, like, well, we can't. We literally can't. There's no traffic cameras, right? There's no I can't prove that you did this, and so it can be really frustrating one for law players
Yeah.
and two, I think it does a disservice to criminal players because part of building a story is having that consequence, right? Whatever that ends up being. And so if you're never caught, then there's never any consequence, right? So I think evidence will be great system because then there's going to be things that you don't even have to think about, right? Like one of the things is when I was being questioned once as a criminal, I was trying to think like, oh, maybe I should like like drop some breadcrumbs kind of thing, and it was Bash and uh, um, with Asai, Bash and Asai. They were playing Kingsley and what was I don't remember SI's deputy's name at the time, but they were
Wayne?
questioning me, and they were actually questioning me so well that I was genuinely like tripping up and like crossing wires there and stuff, which was wonderful.
Mm.
But it's one of those things where it's like it was cool because it happened naturally, right? I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to deliberately like drop these breadcrumbs. It just happened because they were questioning me so good. And so I think evidence will be kind of the same way where it's no longer going to always fall on the role player to constantly thinking like, okay, how can I direct law to this crime, uh and without like it's not going to always have to be on the top of your mind because there's going to be things that are just going to happen, right? There's going to be, and I don't want to go into details because this is all Kano's wheelhouse, but there's going to be things that happen, that like actions that are just they're going to have effects, they're going to leave things in the world that you can use as evidence, right? So it's going to happen without you even having to be conscious of it, which is really really awesome because it just frees up more bandwidth for you people to focus on their role play, right? And it gives law something to work with criminals who either might be newer to the system or have something else that they're focused on or something like that, right? So it's like if leaving that evidence isn't on the top of their mind, now there's going to be
Yeah.
things coming into the world naturally.
It is, and it is hard sometimes as a criminal because like you want to leave evidence, but then you start getting chased, and it's like, well, I should probably run, right? Or
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there have been people in the past though who I know who have like committed a crime and then gone back later to leave stuff.
hmm
Like fled at the time because they're like, oh, well, we gotta go, and then gone, but then literally come back, put stuff there, and then left again.
yeah,
Um, like that kind of stuff I think is um common. But I mean, there are definitely lots of people who do leave evidence behind. Like I know that Graham does, Nia does, and Box does as well. Um, but yeah, in regards to the evidence system, is there anything that you can tell us, Tank, about like how it will work, or what exactly it will entail? Can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, again, so this is all on our amazing devs. I don't even know exactly like what specifics, if any, I can or should go into because it's all in development right now, right? Like that's part of it too. Is like it is literally in progress.
hmm
Kano and Krads is also fantastic. Krads doesn't get enough love. I just want to say it right now.
Kratz is
Krads is
amazing.
one of our devs, and he is so amazing and so talented and just like a genuinely good guy. Like I appreciate him so much and everything that he does for Wild. So I just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
Mhm.
But yeah, basically the idea, what I can even like, but things like gunpowder or like if like you've been in water recently or things like
Right.
that. Like there's going to be things like that there are based purely on the way you're interacting with the world or with items or things like that.
Hmm. Kano said, like, if you drink moonshine, there might be the smell of that on you, or yeah, like you can tell if a gun is warm from being shot. Like he'd mentioned a couple things. I think on Peppo's stream the other night. So it sounds
Nice. Yeah, yeah.
really
Interesting.
Exactly.
awesome.
Okay.
Things like that. So it's like you fire a gun, there's going to be, something for law to work with, that sort of thing.
Right.
It's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's I'm super excited for it because having just witnesses to, and that's pretty much it. Like sometimes there are details, most of the time there are not. When there are details, most of the time they're pretty vague, and it's hard to get. You can't get hard evidence without a witness. And especially when you're playing a character who's not willing to, say, well, I'm pretty sure they did it, and then arrest them. Like it makes it really difficult for me to like get arrested sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I can think of a bunch of criminals off the top of my head that if there were evidence other than witnesses, like they probably would have been caught for those crimes by now, which is good story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, uh, kind of touching on, the witness thing. It definitely helps a lot with um, crimes and scenarios and, with law stuff, obviously. But kind of touching on what Cosimo, I'm so sorry if I said that wrong. What he said is that a lot of the time the witness thing is often played out pretty heavily as like the rat thing.
Right.
Oh
Um,
God.
yeah, yeah.
The rat
Um,
thing.
the rat thing. Um, which is, like I think that also can really, obviously, what it's intended to do, but discourage, people from wanting to talk to the law.
Oh,
Which,
100%.
yeah, which I think can be beneficial in ways, but at the same time, I think it's such a played out um, thing now where it's really, really difficult to, get people to even want to talk
Mhm.
to the law anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that that really fucking sucks. Because, it's that thing where it's like, oh, this person's a rat. We're gonna go after their character. And I think that that kind of thing is something that may be able to be avoided with the new evidence system now. I don't necessarily think that that will be such a focus because the thing is, a lot of the time, um, people will go, "Oh, well, this person told because they know, and they were the only people who were there." Whereas now, with an evidence system, it's going to be a lot more difficult, I think, to figure out if there is a rat or not, or whether you just fucked up and got found out by the evidence system. Um, which I
Yeah.
think it would be great.
Yeah, and I think we're still gonna see that RP angle, like the you talk to the law rat kind of thing. But again, hopefully it will be less of the meta, so to speak, because and that's
Mm,
where my frustration comes into play, right? Is because um sure, like I can see where there are times where like that kind of you ratted to the law RP, right, can be beneficial, but like you're saying, it's been so overplayed and it's become like anything that backs RP into a corner is very frustrating to me. And what I've seen happen on the server is at varying points, it's gotten to the point where it's like your choices are basically either you don't talk to the law at all, or you even directly aid criminals, because if you don't, your consequence is you are going to be very heavily injured, if not murdered, which is just it sucks. It sucks because it's not fair to our civilian role players. It's not fair to our lawful characters, right? To basically have everything backed into a corner so heavily, and so I hope that the evidence system, like you're saying, will bring some balance to that, right? Where
Mhm.
sure, it can still come into play, but it's not going to be the meta anymore, where all these people feel like even if I want to, I can't role play with the law because I'm going to be brought out and shot because I
Right.
talked to them, right? And so
Mhm.
I really hope it's going to kind of help alleviate that server culture aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, there's definitely just with RP and that kind of culture in general, I know that there's definitely um, people who don't like that kind of RP where it's, uh, people going to the law to tell things out and stuff like that. But I think it's one of those things where you need a bit of both, you know? You do obviously need to, if you're, for example, like, part of a group and you go to the law and you tell them, yeah, because you basically are like, "Yeah, fuck this group." Absolutely, I definitely think that there should be some kind of consequence to that with the people who you were with. Um, but I think the fact that it just happens so frequently now, and not just on WoW, but on like a lot of servers in general. Um, it's one of those things where it's really really difficult to almost monitor in a way, and I think that's why the evidence system coming in now is going to be super beneficial because it's definitely going to help alleviate a lot of that now. I think.
Yeah,
Is there
100%.
Do we know? Are there any other roleplay servers out there who have a sort of evidence system, like even in GTA? Like, is there evidence on?
Oh yeah, GTA definitely has evidence. That's if anything, that's kind of where a lot of this stuff is inspired. It won't be quite the same because
Right.
there's not going to be
DNA.
the same level of technology, right? But it's going to be in the same vein for sure.
Right. Okay.
Right. See, I've never played on any other RP server really. Like I did GTA for a little while. I've done some Conan, but for the most part, like all the kind of like RP mechanics and knowledge that I have is literally from Wild. And I sat there the other day thinking about how the evidence system and stuff is going to work, and I literally couldn't picture it in my head because I've never done like any other RP anywhere else where
Mhm.
that's a thing, which I think is going to be interesting because I have no concept of how the fuck that would work. But obviously, it will. Like, have you seen or like done any RP where there's been evidence system tank?
I did like 1 or 2 days of GTA RP that went terribly. It was not a good time. But
Why?
in that
We're gonna
day, it
need you
was
to
just like,
elaborate on that.
oh, it
Yeah,
was
I
just
want to hear that.
I got RDM'd a couple times.
Oh.
In like the one session we had, it was just like it was a weird situation all around. Just like we got very aggressively um chased after by this other gang because we decided to try to rob someone at the scrapyard, which apparently was a no. So it was a whole thing. One of the admins was watching my stream and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna clip this. Do you mind putting in a player report because of something that had happened?" Like it was just like it was not fun. It was not a good day. Apparently, it was a uniquely bad day for me. Just
I
my
want to hear
my
the I want to hear
my
the
stroke
full
of luck.
lowdown of this. I want
It was just
I
like
want the full thing. I want
I
the
had
full
some
lowdown,
friends
please.
some friends from Wild who were playing. They want to do some GTA RP, and they invited me to join their group. And I had fun. I enjoyed my character I made. I learned that you need to wear a seatbelt because I got ejected from a car the first time we
Yeah,
bumped another car. That was fun.
I learned that.
I've also learned
Um,
that lesson. Yep.
but actually in that day I got to see the evidence system because when we got RDM'd,
We
I didn't
are
go down right
being
away, so I was able to fire back,
raided.
and then of course we all got downed and brought into the police station, or brought into the hospital first and the police station, and they did like a gunpowder residue test on my hands, and they're like, "Oh, you have gunpowder." I'm like, "Yeah, I shot my gun." Like we got shot at, so I shot back. So I actually
Jesus.
got to experience the evidence system there, and it
That's
was,
so
yeah, it was
cool.
very it was very like it was a quick process. Like I did like an animation. They looked at my hands. They got the gunpowder residue, and they're like, "Okay, cool, we're charging you." And yeah, that was it. And then I hung out in prison for a bit.
Jesus.
Speaking of prison, I'd like to bring this up. With how big the server's getting, what is your opinion about trying to make the prison a more, I don't know how to say this, like robust scenario, or like giving it more robust opportunities for RP
Making it
there,
a
like
livable place.
making it
Oh,
a place where people can actually like RP out their time in prison. What are your thoughts on that?
1000%, that is coming. That has always been the goal of
Yeah.
Sisika. Is that, and we really strongly encourage people to do this now, and it can be hard, right, with even with like the bigger player base, just schedules wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's been many times where I hop on like my character who's in prison right now, and there's nobody else on, but sometimes there
Right.
are people on, right? And so it's really good to get in those interactions and stuff like that. But as far as the prison itself, I mean, there's definitely going to be more mechanics, things to do, players involved, right? Lifelong inmates, prison guards, that kind of thing. Like it's going to be a whole system to just really support Sisika and make it an RP destination, right? Because I think that's kind of like the key components of criminal RP, right? Especially now that I've had the opportunity to kind of go through it all myself, right? Is the kind of the build up, the making connections, the starting off phase, right? The big wanted on the run kind of arc, whatever that entails for your particular character's story, and then the getting caught, the consequences, and the spending time in prison. And I truly believe that that is a crucial part of the criminal RP arc.
Yeah.
And so
Mm-hmm.
making Sisika more exciting and more of a destination than just oh, I'm going to leave my character alone for 2 weeks kind of thing
Yeah.
is really, really exciting to me.
Yeah, that'd be super cool, honestly. Like, I've always been for harsher punishments. So I had mixed feelings about the new rules because I like all of them. I just wish that they applied to everyone, not just law. But aside from that, like the reason why I'd like to see Sisika be more, RP friendly is so that people can do those longer sentences and feel like they're actually facing consequences when they shoot someone in the head, but still be able to make content if they're a streamer and be able to have fun as a role player. It's so, that's my opinion on it. I hope that it comes out soon, and I'm sure it'll be amazing when it does, and I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that I have been very, very passionate about. I actually bought a book that's all about the history of the prison system in the U.S. and kind of like what different parts in history look like. And so I'm trying to use that to draw as much inspiration for like how to make this feel real, but also
Right.
fun, right? So it's like
Right.
what is time period appropriate and all that good stuff while kind of maintaining the server spirit.
Is there any I I know you're not a dev, but do you know if there's any way to like make and there's probably not, but is there any way to make like the NPC guards more involved, like, or is it going to be pretty much required for Elio to play like a prison, or to have like prison guard characters?
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely gonna. It's gonna be one of those things where they're always gonna need actual people involved in it.
Hmm.
But the idea, right, is that it's gonna open it up so it's not just Big L, right?
Right.
There's going to
Mhm.
be more prison guards and more opportunity there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that Kono was really excited about that.
Hmm.
I also have my idea for what the fuck I'm gonna make if that ever happens in terms of a character. I want to be a grumpy old lunch lady.
Yeah, you told me about that.
I really want to be like a really shitty, like angry prison island cook. That
Are,
is what I want to do.
are you gonna use the voice for that character you had?
Yeah, I'll probably use my Nora voice for it.
Give us a
She's been
taste.
dead for a while.
What's the line when they come up to get their food?
What'll it fucking be? Same as usual. Take it and fucking get the fuck out. No.
Perfect.
Also, I'm gonna say this. Chat was giving me shit in the fucking chat about my fucking chair.
Is that why you changed chairs?
Yeah, they were going in on my wooden fucking 80s lawn chair, saying that I'm gonna that what kind of chair is that? That's a herniated disc in 10 years. Fuck off.
Well,
Okay. I like my wooden chair, all right?
No, you don't.
And so to make sure that all of you stop giving me shit for it, I went and grabbed my father's chair from his fucking office, and now I'm gonna be sitting on it for the next little while, so nobody can give me shit about it, all right? All right.
Her chair that she's been sitting in. Can you just like hold it up so they can see the seat? She has to put a pillow on it because look at this. Look at the seat.
Hold on. Let me grab. It's a fucking lesson. Listen.
Can you imagine sitting on that for hours role playing?
It works for me, okay?
Yeah.
I have managed just fine to roleplay on that chair every day for a fucking year, and I've done just fine.
So
right?
we've
I've coped just fine.
So we were all the money I get on stream during this segment up until recently has been going towards getting her a chair. We did raise enough money, and it's on the way, Chad. Don't worry.
It is. I'm very excited.
We ordered the chair. It's on the way.
It's going to be very, very cool. And
Yeah.
then eventually everybody will stop. Oh, hello. Now, eventually everybody will stop giving me shit about it. For Christ's sakes.
But B, now you can't take the pillow off and then immediately be able to cry in scenes.
Fuck off, all right? Listen, okay? There's nothing wrong with my chair. Listen, maybe my chair was just keeping me humble. You know? There's nothing wrong with that, okay? I never ever claimed to be somebody who knew what they were doing or being good at video games, okay? I could use the chair as an excuse as to why I was bad at video games. I could be like, well, my chair sucks. And now I won't have an excuse anymore. My chair sucks, and I don't have the proper equipment. So what the fuck am I supposed to do?
When my KDR is low, I'm like, guys, there's no way I could possibly compete with you. My chair is slightly uncomfortable.
It's an 80s wooden lawn chair, guys. I'm gonna herniate my disc.
I got another splinter. Yeah. I just gotta say, Professor Bongwater, thank you for that follow. When I see a good name, I have to say something. Professor Bongwater.
Professor Dongwater, he's a lovely member of my community.
I sit on a bicycle with the seat missing while I RP. Trench, the words you bring to my chat are great. Thank you. I just like to read his sentences out loud.
It's fucking Trench, for God's sakes. Comes in and just says something ridiculous. Very typical.
That's his entrance. That's the standard entrance for him.
Well, true, you know. I mean, look, okay, I managed to get through my very first video game addiction sitting on a chair like that, okay?
Yeah.
And I played that game for hours.
What was your first addiction? It was
Skyrim.
Skyrim, right? Yeah. What about you, Tank? What's your first video game addiction?
Um, hmm, probably Warcraft 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, brother. Yeah, you're talking to an orc right now. Check this out back here.
Hey, you know what my comparison for why the business system is so important, why we need the job system?
Why?
Why?
Because I referenced the popularity of Life of a Peasant, if you remember that. It's one of the custom Warcraft 3 mods.
I remember seeing that in like Life of a Peasant was in the games list, but I don't think I ever played. Tell us
It
about
was
it.
it was monstrously popular, and what that map was is basically you would spawn in as a peasant,
Uh-huh.
and there were a bunch of various jobs you could choose, and there's also like the mafia, the drug lords, and then
It
the
was an
police.
RPG, right?
Yes, and there was a million variations of this game, but every time I'm like, people loved this game,
Yeah.
and it was literally like it was a custom Warcraft 3 map, and it's literally you just run around and you either harvest drugs or you play the cops or you play like a garbage man and you go around in like your little garbage truck and pick up garbage,
It's
and
like
I'm like, and
GTA
it's
on
people
Warcraft 3.
people love this stuff.
Yeah.
People love this stuff. So that was my point of reference when I was trying to explain why I'm so hell bent on this business system is very, very, very important.
Yeah.
Because people like you don't have like, and
Wait, so
I
you're
think that
saying they
that's
had
one of
an
the things
evidence system in a Warcraft 3 mod?
that
It's a serious question. Did they?
I don't. No, it was much more
Oh,
just
okay.
like immediate like PvP combat kind of thing.
Right. Okay. That makes more sense. I was gonna say, like, holy shit. I mean, I know, like Zara said, like a lot of Warcraft 3 modded maps were like super creative and awesome back then, but I would have been blown away if they had an evidence system.
No, nothing like that. No.
I never ever got into like a video game massively
Mhm.
until Skyrim.
Skyrim. That's
That
a
was
good
that
one
was the
to get into.
well, yeah, and it was one of the first game. That was my love for video games. And actually, weirdly enough, how I got into video games, which is so stupid. I played a little like Nintendo 64 with my sister when I was like really
That's not
young,
stupid.
playing. No. I mean, yeah, I played that and it was fine, but it wasn't like a massive addiction for me. I
Oh,
was good
okay.
at it, but I was like, oh, okay. It was weirdly enough, there was a boy who I really liked in high school, and he played Skyrim,
Uh-huh.
and he would ask me a bunch of questions about it because I'd be like, "Yeah, I played that. I didn't." And and he was like, "Oh yeah, like what class are you playing as?" And I was like, "The good one." So I
The one with the
literally
sword.
yeah, the one with the sword. Yeah, I'm an archer. Which was very, very stupid. And so I literally went out that day and I went and bought it and I went and played it and it was like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
this is doing something for me. I said this to Orkish the other night. I sunk so many fucking hours into that game. And I'm so desperately sad that my PS3 broke because I would have loved to have seen like the amount of hours I put into it because I was playing it pretty much like non-stop, like
Yeah.
all fucking day, pretty much. When I wasn't at school, I was at home playing Skyrim. And it was like such a massive, like, oh yeah, I like this a lot. And then I started really getting into video games after that. But for hell yeah, but for the
Hell
most
yeah.
part, hell yeah.
Oh
But
god.
literally, for the most part, that was the only reason I got into video games was because it was very stupid and I was typical cliche. I wanted to impress a boy.
Oh,
But
see, I
he
was
turned out,
raised with video games. I was
Same.
oh,
playing
see,
Golden Axe at like 5 years old. Like I've yeah. My dad was super into video games, and so I started with the Sega Genesis, and we got a PC, started doing PC games, did a lot of Load Runner. Yeah.
I have very early childhood memories. I must have been. This is kind of crazy that I remember this, but I remember being about 3. This is when I first started getting memories. It was when I was 3, and I remember playing the Atari. Very vaguely. I think it was probably basketball. There was like a basketball game on Atari. That was but I mean, Nintendo after that, the NES, and then I went to Genesis. But my first love, I mean, I played a lot of GoldenEye and Mario Kart when I was in 5th grade, but I think my first love was probably StarCraft. StarCraft or Warcraft 3 as well. And then my first MMO was Everquest. I don't know for you guys in chat who know about Everquest, but there was I remember what caught my eye was the large-breasted wizard on the front cover. I mean, I was I was like 15. But
I mean, look, I don't have a leg to stand on, okay? It's fine. Go ahead.
but the actually like getting into a game and then like all these people running around are other fucking people, that was just like it was fucking awesome. But yeah, I played EverQuest a lot for several years, and then I made the switch over to World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah. I don't know, like, what was it for you, Tate? You said Warcraft 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Before that, Pokemon. I did play a lot of Pokemon.
I was gonna say Nintendo 64, Pokemon Snap. That was pretty good. I got a couple of really fucking good shots of Mew. I remember my sister definitely, because she was like super into like playing on the Nintendo and stuff. And so was my aunt. My aunt had like a whole bunch of like Yoshi and DK stuff and a whole bunch of games. And I remember I would sit there a lot and I would literally watch my sister play games. And that for me was like endlessly fucking entertaining. Just sitting there and watching my sister play games and just being like stupidly good at it. However, I do recall being very young and my my sister got a Game Boy Color and she got Pokemon Red and my parents gave me Pokemon Blue. And I remember I would watch her play it. And then when I tried to play through on my own, I couldn't beat anything because I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. And I remember being so angry about it because I was just like, this sucks. These games suck. I hate this. This is the worst. And just like being very viscerally angry about the fact that my Squirtle wasn't that good. Even though Squirtle's apparently very fucking good. But I don't know. Growing up, like video games for me were something that I definitely watched other people play and got like vast amounts of enjoyment out of. But playing it myself, I was absolutely shockingly bad.
You were shockingly bad at Pokemon.
I was shockingly bad at every game I played. Hold on. Let's not. Hold on now. Hold on. Let's not.
Not anymore. You're good at some games.
Now. Yeah. But for the most part, I literally had to teach myself how to play. And I remember, sitting around and being like, I fucking suck at all of this. I remember playing, I don't know if you guys ever played like video games with your siblings. But no? Oh yeah, well,
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say, it's actually funny that you mentioned that because, yeah, my brother and sister also loved video games. And I actually, in an odd way, kind of credit my time with them as like kind of my start in role play in a weird way, because we would often play games. We would play games not the way they were supposed to be played. One of the ones I remember specifically was Donkey Kong 64. And what we would do, the three of us, we're only 2 years apart, each of us. I was the oldest, my sister's the middle, my brother's the youngest. And we were very close growing up, even as kids. And one of the things we would do is we would play Donkey Kong 64, the multiplayer version, but we wouldn't fight each other. What we would do is we would go around the maps and we would decide like certain rooms were our house, and we would RP with each other. We would like hang out and like talk to each other and like go to each other's houses and like stuff like that. Like not the way this game is designed to play at all. But like that was kind of like just the kids we were growing up. We were very imaginative and we wanted to like play out scenes like that. And so it ended up applying to video games as well, and we didn't like playing competitive video games with each other. Like we would, both my brother and I especially were competitive, so we would get frustrated at each other. So then we would like find ways to play games not competitively, and that was a huge one. Was doing stuff like that.
Did you come from a competitive household?
Like some
Kind
people
of.
here.
I would say like it was like my brother and I, like I said, naturally competitive, and then my mom would have very high standards for us just because she wanted us to do well and succeed. So we weren't like pitted against each other, but I think because of that, we all wanted to be very successful. And like I said, my brother and I both have like an innate competitive drive.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, yeah. So it was like actually playing things against each other was sometimes more of a struggle. So we were like, how can we, and like Animal Crossing was a great one because we can all live in the town together and we're working together. So anything where it was like we wouldn't have to actually be going head to head was ideal for sure.
Oh shit. Yeah. My family, um, my family are all stupid competitive. Um, it's so bad that at one point I was legitimately, here we go. I was legitimately convinced that after a game of Monopoly, my parents were going to get a divorce. Um, I was like, I said to my sister too, I was like, Mom and Dad are going to get a divorce. Like, this is like, oh my God, this is terrible. And my sister was like, it's totally fine. This is just the way they are. But like, literally, both my parents are like stupid fucking competitive. Um, to the point where it's like, it's so like, I grew up like watching it a lot. And do you want to hear the Monopoly story about what happened?
Mhm.
Okay.
Story
So
time.
basic,
Wait, hold
yeah,
on.
story time. Woo!
Two things before you start. Number
Go.
one, is our mystery guest coming?
I hope so. I
Because
did
I just
send.
DM'd them and they're ignoring me, which is pretty standard for them. But they may or may not be in chat, so maybe they can check their DMs.
I did send them a DM.
Secondly, it is time. Let's just get this question out there, and then Tank can think about it, and then you can do your story, and then he can answer. All right. So it's
That's a good point.
time to ask that question. All right, this is Tank. This is where we ask the same question to every guest we have on the show. I understand you may need a little time to think about this. We've learned this over the past. The question is, if you could smash any character from Wild RP in real life, who would it be and why? P gets so embarrassed about this question.
I don't think I should answer this question.
Oh, saying no.
Why?
You got to tell us why.
Is it too juicy?
It might be a little too juicy.
Is it Deputy Marshal Ortega?
I mean, fair. That's a good answer. That's a damn good answer. No, we've asked everybody this so far. There've been some good answers so far.
This. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll let you think about it. We'll let,
yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay.
We'll let B tell her story. You can mull it over. And if you know what? If you decide to say no, it's okay. You'll be the first person ever to not answer. But that's fine. No pressure.
Wow.
No pressure. All right. All right, B.
Okay. All right. Story time. Okay. So my sister said, well, I want to play board games with everybody. I want to have a good time. I think at the time I was like 14, 15. And and so my mum and dad were like, I don't really want to play. And my sister was like, please, like, can we please do this? And so my parents were like, okay. So we sit down and we start playing it and everything's going fine. I, however, landed on Park Lane and my dad had Mayfair. And so, the game's been going for a while now, but I finally get the card that my dad wants. And so my dad turns to me and goes, okay, B, I will give you this much money to get Mayfair and I'll swap out so that you get a full set of something else. I can't remember what the fuck it was. And so my mum turns to me and says, "Don't do that. Don't do that. That's what your father wants. That's what he wants. And if he does that, then he's going to win, and we can't let him win." And my dad turned to my mum and was like, "Why do you always do this?" And and then dad was like, "Okay, well look, I'll give you this and I'll give you more things." Mum was like, "No, because then he's gonna fucking win." And then dad was like, "Well, she's just trying to fucking sabotage the game." And so they started having like this full-on argument about like who was going to get this card. And I was literally like sitting in between the two of them as the two of them like argued over the top of me, having this full-on fucking fight about who was going to win
how
the
old were you?
game. 14.
Okay.
And I remember and then mum was like, I said to dad, I was like, "Oh, I'll give it to you." And then my mum literally like took my card out of my hand and was like, "Don't give it to him." And I was like, "Oh my God." And then dad was like, "She fucking wants to give it to me, so let her give it to me. Like, give me the fucking card." And so they had this huge fucking argument. And my sister like burst into tears and was like, "I just wanted to play a nice game with everyone." And I just kind of sat there, and I'm pretty sure I wrote a note about it on like a piece of paper, and I like slipped it to my dad, and I was like, "I'm really sorry. I wanted to give you the card, but mum didn't want me to, and I'm really sorry."
You slipped him a note
Yeah,
during the game?
yeah. I slipped him a note, and I was like, "I'm really sorry. I wanted to give you the card, but mum was getting mad, so I couldn't."
Oh,
But like, that kind of level of aggression
audible
in
gasp.
my family
I
when it
have been
comes to
gifted
competitiveness
subs.
is very
Thank
common.
you,
That
human
I've come from an
viewer.
exceptionally competitive household
So,
where it's just like that all the time.
can I go on my Monopoly rant real quick?
Yes, tell us
Go.
I'll
your
make it quick.
monopoly.
Okay. So
You don't have to make it quick. Take your time.
Yeah.
Lavish in it.
I despise playing Monopoly, but I love the history of Monopoly. It's actually very fascinating. So Monopoly was created by a woman named Lizzie Maggie, and basically the point of the game, right? Anytime that you guys have played it, I'm sure you've seen it is a game where one person generally slowly comes out as the leader, and then everyone else is suffocated to death, basically, right? Like that's the point of the game. It is a tedious, unpleasant experience because once you get behind, you just generally get further and further and further behind until you are slowly drained of all your assets, right? So this woman, Lizzie Maggie, it was never intended to be like a family fun, fair game. The whole point of the game, so she's actually a leftist, and the whole point of the game was to basically, it was a practical demonstration of what happens with land grabbing and what the consequences are, right? So that was the whole point, is it's supposed to be an unpleasant experience. It's not supposed to be this like equitable, fun, competitive game. And it was turned into this product to make all this money, and it made so much money. And it's like it's insane. It's insane.
Which
And
is so
so
funny.
this product that was originally designed to be critical of capitalism became this huge moneymaker for Hasbro.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. Because it's like, there was somebody. I'm literally about to confess something really, really stupid because I am stupid.
No.
I have moments in my life, multiple of them, where I have a realization about something and everybody else is like, if literally everybody knew that. You did.
Oh yeah, I've had that.
Yeah, they're like, you didn't think of any like that. Everybody knows that that's what it is. And for me, I remember when somebody like I sat there and I was like, holy shit, Monopoly is about like capitalism. And I remember sitting there and being like, holy fuck. And I went and told my brother, who's 7 years younger than I am, keep that in mind. And I went and told him, and I was like, did you know that Monopoly is about capitalism? And he was like, that's literally the entire fucking point of the game. What you're not special. You fucking idiot. I was like, for fuck's sakes. I've had many, many moments like that in my life.
And it's so insidious too, because it's been twisted so far beyond its original intent. and the way it was purchased was very, I think, like, Lizzie got maybe $500 for it, like no royalties, nothing like that. Like it's a whole, like, it's just, it horrifies me, kind of the history of this and the way it has been turned and twisted in
Mhm.
popular culture.
Yeah.
That is fucking crazy. I had no idea about any of that.
I didn't know that either. I mean, that's all messed up, but it's also messed up that it is a terrible experience to play that game. It's like a long, drawn out loss. Like, that's the worst part about any game that you play, right? Is the losing part, and you have to lose for like a half a fucking hour. But people
Hmm.
keep buying it and playing it because they're like, well, maybe I'll win this time. I don't know. It's crazy.
I love board games, and I love specifically
Same.
introducing people to other games that are like, this game is easy enough to grasp, and it's
Mhm.
actually fun, unlike games like Monopoly.
Monopoly. Yeah, there's a ton of awesome board games out there, and they keep coming out with new ones all the time, and they're all super fun. If you guys don't play board games, you should. It's a great time.
One that somebody has said to me that is really, really good that they play a lot is Settlers of Catan. I've never played it.
That one's really
Wingspan
popular.
is
Ah,
fucking great.
Catan's fun. If you try Catan and like it, I definitely recommend Terraforming Mars. Terraforming Mars is like the next step up for
Okay.
me from Catan. Terraforming Mars is one of my favorite games. Actually, funny you were talking about family being competitive. Last Christmas, my brother came into town. He lives in Michigan now, and we were all playing board games, and we played some Terraforming Mars. And one of the games, he beat me, and I was getting so angry, and then I was like, wait, hold on. That's the entire point. Why do I want to play this game if I'm going to win every single time? Like, it's okay for me to lose a game of Terraforming Mars because my brother's pretty good at it. Like, that's okay. And I
Right.
caught myself like getting so like, oh, I can't believe I'm losing right now.
I mean, it's perfectly fucking normal. There's aren't many games that make me competitive. I will say that. I don't get competitive about games. My family does, I don't. But the only game I have ever gotten so angry about that I literally stood up and left was Uno. I and I was so fucking livid because somebody said to me that like they played by a different set of fucking rules.
Yeah.
And so literally they got rid of their entire fucking hand in one go and like fucked me essentially. And I was so angry about it. I was like, you can't fucking do that. And they're like, no, I can because these are the rules. And I was like, I'm gonna kill you. Like I actually need to walk away from this situation because I'm so worked up about it. I need to go outside and have a cigarette or breathe or do something, fucking yoga. I actually can't play Uno anymore because it makes me so angry.
You can't play it at all?
No.
Even with the rules
Uno,
that you're familiar with?
no, because here's the thing. It just left such a terrible fucking taste in my mouth to the point where I just get so fucking angry about it whenever I
What?
play. Like somebody hits me with a, draw 4 and I'm like, I'm gonna kill
Okay.
you.
I've got a proposal for chat. What if we what if we had like a, I don't know, a donation goal or something where B would have to
Don't make
play
me play Uno. Please don't
Uno
make me play broken.
live because there's
I do have the
tabletop
digital
simulator.
version.
Yeah.
B.
Oh, there's an actual there's an actual Uno
Mhm.
game you can buy on Steam, but there's also tabletop simulator. You can play it on that as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, chat, what do you guys think about that? Is
No,
that
nobody needs
something
to see that.
uh,
Nobody needs to see that.
do we want to
No, here's the thing. I really like everybody believing that I'm very sweet and very kind.
we
I
want to
don't
see the
need
other
people.
side of you though.
I don't need. No, I don't need people to see me being an angry fucking mess. Just
We want to
being
see.
so like filled with just so much visceral fucking.
I've seen a lot of
hatred.
yeses in chat.
Oh my
Tina,
god.
do it
You know
right
what?
now.
You know what? Okay, I'll do it. Only if the fucking like donation goal is stupid high. Like a stupid fucking sum.
A
In which
stupid
case I'm
sum?
like, yep. Yeah. like a shitload of money, yeah, I'll play it.
A
I'll be
shitload of
angry
money.
about it the whole time. I'll be angry before we even fucking get in the game. I'll be there. I'm getting worked up about it now. I fucking
She's already
hate
upset,
Uno.
chat. Yeah, I was
Hate
thinking. I
it.
was thinking maybe 50 cents or.
I'm gonna throttle you. No! I look, there are many games that I can play where I'm perfectly fine. Like I'm like every single video game I've ever played, I'm generally very relaxed and I'll laugh and I'll have a good time. Uno is the only game that makes me feel like a toxic person.
That's so funny to me. Uno.
Uno. I can't. And fucking no. No. I can't. I don't like it. I don't no. And here's the thing, like somebody will say, yeah, Corey said most board games do that. No, like I'm perfectly fine. Pictionary, fucking Boulder Dash, Boggle, Scrabble, fine, all fine. I'm totally fine. I will have a grand old time and be very, very relaxed. I don't know what the fuck it is about Uno that makes me angry, but there's just something about it that just makes me mad. And I don't know why. And I wish I understood what it was, but I don't. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But look, if you set up like a grand, okay? A grand and I'll play Uno.
A
I'll hate it the
grand.
entire a grand and
I
I'll
don't
play Uno.
know.
I'll hate it the entire time.
Wow.
And I will want to stab somebody by the end of it, and most likely I will probably stop being friends with someone by the time it's done.
All right.
But there you go.
I
That's
have
the only way I will play Uno. That is literally the only way.
$1,000. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see about that. I think that might be a touch high. Okay, chat. We have with us our very special
We could say I'm special, sure, but
our mystery guest has arrived.
Woo!
something special, that's for sure.
It's a mystery. We've got Stonefly Kyer with
Bullpew!
us.
Woo!
Don't even. I saw that comment earlier, Bullpew. Hi,
There you go.
Rompers.
Hello.
Hi.
Kai?
Hello. She's just been busy dealing with her addiction to 7 Days to Die.
Look,
Kai and I are both addicted. It's not
After
cute.
today,
Are you guys playing
I
together?
am too.
no,
We haven't been yet. We
I
should
think-
link up. I've got my new
yes.
spot picked out.
because we would annihilate everybody else around, but then also I think we would feed each other's addiction.
True.
Which is what gamer friends do. Like,
That's right.
we're like, you're going to bed? It's only 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Lazy.
God.
We got a base to finish. Come on.
Oh, PM, is
amount of-
this not good enough?
Listen.
Nothing like a compliment. I was hoping for somebody else.
Listen
Wow.
here, all right? Kai is
Wait, is that
a
what?
stunning
Somebody
creature.
say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, PM.
I was hoping for pandas. Wow.
Oh, just kidding when you get called out.
You can always put a JK in
Lol,
chat to
JK.
smooth things over.
Lol, JK.
So Kai, now that you're here,
Uh-huh.
Tank has been thinking about this, but every episode we ask. What
Is this a question I have to answer now, or if I come back later in like January?
If you come back in January, we'll just ask you a different question, or maybe
so I
you'll-
get two. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
go into this. Okay.
All right,
I'm
so
ready.
it's we're doing ask that question, which is you probably heard it already, but
No, I've heard it every time.
No, she does.
Every time.
if you could smash any character in Wild RP in real life, who would it be and why?
Tank, did you answer?
He hasn't answered yet. No.
No, not
I
yet.
haven't. I
But
haven't.
Kai's had like 4 weeks to think about it, so she should have
That's
several
true.
answers ready.
She's listened to the podcast a few times, so she's spent her entire life gearing up for this moment.
Oh, let me just get out my scroll and let it slide across the room.
Your scroll?
Hell fucking yeah.
Okay.
It's not even like a,
She
like
has
a
a long
phone list.
list.
It's a scroll.
Excuse me, I would not. No, I would not smash Baz in real life. No.
So quick to no, definitely not.
You want your rope burns, eh?
It's the bald head and the diamond eye patch. Like, no.
Is it the... You don't like his grown out hair on the sides?
No, that's when I did like it.
Okay.
Ma'am!
Something they'll grab
I
onto,
did.
right? Just
Yeah, exactly.
That's the first question. Which character's gonna pull my hair? And then we'll start making the list from there.
Kai is so into this
Ma'am!
question. She's so into this question. I love it.
You guys shouldn't have allowed me in here.
I love it. No,
Have you
I'm
been
on board.
drinking,
Hold
ma'am?
on, hold on.
No, I'm on too many medications to be drinking. I can't be.
why did you say that way?
Because I'm sarcastic. I'm very angry about it.
Maverick OG liked the answer to your question so much he followed the channel. Thank you, Maverick.
Wow, thank you, Maverick.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I totally upended everything.
No.
You guys continue your conversation.
That's the whole point. Upend things. Tell us. You got to answer the question now.
Yeah. Do you want me to start from 1 or do you want me to start from 5?
Oh my
Do you
gosh,
have a
it's got
top 5? Start from 5 and work your way to the number 1.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
think
I'm
about
ready.
it for a second. I will.
Okay.
I'll give you some good answers
preparing
for
myself.
sure.
Tank, while she's thinking, do you have your answer prepared?
You know what? I have come up with an answer.
Okay.
So, my answer is a twofer.
Okay.
My
two
number
for
one
one, like
choice would actually be Lasichu. I think she's super cute, she's super nice,
Mhm. That's a
definitely
good
my type.
answer.
She's like
but
4'10". You toss her around.
He's gonna like this one. My realistic answer of who I would end up hooking up with would be Darla.
Oh my fucking god.
Darla. Who's Darla?
Darla?
Which is a burn against my own taste, is what that is.
I'm shocked.
Which
I'm
one?
actually, oh my god. Oh my god.
Who's Darla? I feel like I know that character name. Did she die?
No.
No.
She. Darla was Georgie's best friend, but
Yeah.
she was also in love with Robbie Gold and married Robbie Gold from the Lang Gang.
Mm-hmm.
And killed people and was a soft-spoken psychopath pretty much.
So.
Like split personality, right?
Yeah, split
Yeah.
personality.
Oh God.
Mhm.
Okay. So we just learned something about Tank.
Mhm.
All right. All right. Let's hear the list, Kai.
Oh God. Okay, there's not actually 5. Let's see
What?
here.
You got us
Well,
all
I'm
excited
sure
for
I
nothing.
could. I'm sure I could. I'm trying to think of since I've started. Like
Mhm.
who? There's so many. It's not a bad thing.
Do you want more
Well,
time?
have you two? Wait, have you two answered it?
Oh, look.
Yeah.
This is, we have.
Liars.
Did I?
I'm not. I refuse to answer.
Oh,
till you
yeah, we
both
have.
Answer.
Yeah, we've answered this.
I won't answer till you both answer.
Oh,
That's
come
not how that
on.
works. That's not how
This
that
is-
works.
We make the rules here.
I
This
come
is
in and I
inside the
change the
bug.
rules.
Listen, all right, you can't come in here, be mommy, and fucking
Mommy.
mommy. You can't come in here and fucking change the rules on the host. Okay.
All
That's
right,
not
5 is
acceptable.
Carter.
5 is
Oh.
Carter.
Carter. Totally.
Kyle,
Shave the beard, but that happened enough.
what do you mean? You can grab onto that sucker.
I'm not grabbing on. He's grabbing on. Let's be like, what?
Yeah, I mean, there could be situations where you need to
Sorry.
hold on.
Man.
Come on, I want a piece of that mustache ride.
There's many ways to hold on in the West.
It's a bucking good time.
Muskrat love, yeah. Okay.
There's two
All
types
right.
of gargoyles, if you know what I mean.
That's 5.
But literally 5, okay.
Pete,
four?
please make that sound again.
No,
What
fuck.
sound? Did I miss it?
You get it once. You get it once and that's it.
I'm gonna have to watch the VOD. I missed it.
Daddy B, please make that noise again.
You can't use my nickname here, all right?
All
Listen,
right.
that's
Did you just call her Daddy B?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your point?
Right.
I have
And
several,
it's at this
but
moment that
we'll-
Orcish is literally like, why do I have B as my co-host? Listen, you brought me here. This is your fault.
I brought this
all
upon
right?
myself.
I am.
You brought this upon yourself.
I'm sorry for disrailing this conversation.
You're not.
And
You
I
haven't disrailed anything. What's number 4?
Well, I'll give you number 4 in a minute. It's like
Okay.
you gotta each one periodically, build the suspense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fair
Kai,
enough.
we were talking to Tank about like our first love of gaming. When you were listening to that, did something come to mind for you? Like,
Yeah. So I never played any video games ever until I played Wild RP.
what?
Mm-hmm. A ex-boyfriend got me into it. First game.
You're joking.
No, dead
That's
serious.
crazy. So that means
I-
like
Why?
I played like Donkey Kong for like 20 minutes before I got angry and left.
okay, so that means like every time you're streaming a different video game, it's like the first experience
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
genre.
Yes. Yep.
So like when you started playing, that's why you're like, I love this. It's because you've never experienced a first person shooter before when we were playing
Yeah.
Back 4 Blood.
Back for Blood. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, what am I doing? This is great. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm fucking shocked.
I have a whole world to show you. Take my hand.
It's like, I can show
Holy
you the world.
fuck.
Yeah.
I'm actually lost. That's incredible. I had no idea about any of that. That is fucking amazing.
Yeah. That explains
That's
so
bad.
much.
Explains why you suck at games. Okay.
She's like an Amish
She's like
person.
an Amish person. Did you not like, where are you from? Did you not have like Nintendos there or
Yes. And I rode horses to school. Okay, that's the truth.
you actually rode horses to school? Wait, where
Once
are you from?
I have once in a while.
Are you from Colorado originally?
Okay, can I tell you this? Being a woman on the internet, it's weird giving people too close where you're from. I'm from a very rural area. I'm just gonna say that.
That
And
makes
Are you
I
from-
grew up
sense, Matt.
I grew up with, I don't even want to give the state if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
So I grew up with 300 people in my entire town. I
Oh my
did grow
God.
up on a ranch. I learned to drive a tractor when I was like 8. I had my driver's
Learned to drive a
license when I was
tractor?
13 because I lived so far out of town that they, I like had to drive myself to school essentially. And like there's laws here that you can get these early driving licenses because everybody's ranchers and they're out before dark and home after dark. So like it's like that the only way the kids could get to school because buses don't run.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was trusted
You-
with a mean driving machine at 13.
At 13
No, I can
years
understand
old?
that.
Yeah, at 13 years old, which then led to me, drinking and driving at 16, 17-year-olds and, jumping vehicles and wrecking them. It's
So you're
really a path we went down.
wow. That's
I can
nuts.
completely understand that though. There's definitely
So-
like depending on where you are in New Zealand, it's very rural, and that's
Mhm.
a common occurrence.
But you
Like
are
I mean,
No, go ahead,
Go.
go ahead. No, say.
no, go.
No, you go.
Okay. Basically, it's just I can understand that. Like, I mean, even now, my area where I live now is super populated, but when I was younger, it definitely wasn't. And the school that I went to, I think, had like a max amount of like 75 kids at one point. So really tiny. And now it's a huge school because the area where I live is like super densely populated now. But kind of can understand the growing up in like a small place thing. So I get it.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. My dad's from a really small town, Colorado. But and I visited there a couple times, so I kind of get it. And he would tell me stories, but you're from the United States, though, right?
Yeah.
So
From
you're
the
not
United
from a
States.
place where like it's not. It wouldn't be crazy for you to have like a Sega Genesis growing up.
No, my
you just
brother's
didn't.
video game. Yeah, I just didn't. I chose
You just
other
never had any
activities.
interest.
Yeah, I did. I was super active in sports and I was super active in outdoor activities. So I just never got into gaming. I was really into like backpacking and hiking and kayaking. And then we had a small sports team, but I was really into like volleyball and softball and rugby and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, yeah, some people just aren't into video games, but that's so crazy that this is your first experience. Wow.
In a way, I'm kind of jealous.
Oh, I'm 100% jealous. Like every time you experience a new type of game, it must feel awesome. Because I know it did for me.
it does until my ass starts hurting because it's turning flat from sitting in my chair for so long.
You work out every day.
Every day.
That's right.
Also,
chat.
you know.
Yeah, at least it doesn't have lines on it.
True.
I'm sitting in a
Anyways,
wooden lawn chair.
Tank, did you grow up in a big town, a small town?
I mean, yeah, I grew up right on the border of a pretty decent town in Texas. So it's like I was it's funny because I feel like I had a pretty like suburban, slash city growing up, but then also like I also rode horses at a very young age and stuff like that because it's Texas, right? Like that's like it's a cliche for a reason. Like yes, we all owned cars and drove cars, but uh it's also it's still very different from other parts of the US.
Yeah. So you just because you're in Texas, it's like a law that you have to be able to ride a horse, right?
Yes, definitely. No. No, it's one of those things where it's very accessible. Like any summer camp you go to, there's going to be horseback riding, stuff like that. I mean, like it was like even like like I said, I grew up in the suburbs, and you could like literally walk to like pastures full of cows and stuff like that. Like it's
Yeah.
a very it's interesting. Like there's really nowhere you can go in Texas that's like super city. I mean, you can go to like Dallas and Houston, right, which are like two of our biggest cities. But even then, it's like you drive 30 minutes from the square center of Houston or Dallas, and you're in farmland. Like it's just that's just kind of the way Texas is.
A lot of farms. So I mean, you guys could talk about tractors or something at some point if you guys wanted to bond a little bit. So Kai, earlier we were talking about like LEO and the server and like just like the different rules and the evidence system that's coming out. Were you listening for any of that? Did you have any opinions to give?
I wasn't listening on it. I'm excited that the law, has the opportunity to use those types of things, and anything that enables them. They like I always say this. They're the backbone of the server, and it's not worth committing crime if there's no consequences. So anything that enables them is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Super important. And I'm really looking forward to it as well. Kai, how long have you been playing on the server?
A year?
Been about a year. Okay. So
maybe actually just over a year now.
last winter or last fall?
Yeah, last fall-ish, late last fall,
Fall of
early last
2020.
winter. Yeah. Hmm.
So you were in quarantine and you were like, I'll try it, whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was, and I was seeing somebody, and I
Oh, right.
wanted to. Yeah, I wanted to get on the server and role play with him, and so.
Aw.
Hmm.
Well, love has brought you to all this other love. That's great. It's a good story.
Hmm.
Now could you imagine like living your life without all these wonderful people that you've met?
Absolutely, I would be outside getting fresh air. Just kidding. I love all the people I've met. They're wonderful. And I can't wait till I get to meet all these people in person. People make jokes about having like an actual get together. I'm like, stop joking about it and make it happen.
I thought we were all going to TwitchCon, no?
Well, TwitchCon, but it'd be nice to have something that was just like
Just wild
our
RP.
communities and not overpriced because it's TwitchCon.
That's
you know?
a good fucking point.
Yeah.
What
Because
if
we
we
could all
said,
just
nah?
get a hotel. Like we could all rent a hotel and get a fucking conference room and be like, yeah, we're hanging out here.
We could do a
Yeah.
massive LAN party.
We keep joking about WildCon, and I keep
Mhm.
telling them like when this actually becomes a reality, I love event planning. So we'll see.
Let's
We'll
make
see
it
one day.
happen.
Why not?
I would love if there was a wild.
We could have booths and shit.
booths.
Yeah,
the
I mean-
fuck would we be selling?
I mean, people have stuff to sell, B. Stop judging me.
I would.
I was just
yeah,
thinking about getting together
I-
and drinking at night and then sleeping till noon, but that's fine.
setting up little kissing booths.
Well, that would happen as well, but yeah, we'd have the I don't know, the law booth. Come get your picture taken. I don't know.
You'll get your picture taken with your favorite lawman.
If you're not that famous.
Cosplay. We could all dress up like we're from the year 1900. That could be fun.
Oh, easy. Go as Georgie. All I have to do is wear a yellow shirt. That's it.
And people would
Done.
know what you're doing too. They'd be like, "Oh, it's Georgie."
Georgie. There she is.
We could
Fuck
sell
it
your
up.
wooden chair.
No.
It's a relic.
We're gonna burn it.
Oh.
Audible gasp. I have been gifted
Irate.
My chair
subs.
gets a permanent
Thank
place
you,
in
human
the rest
viewer.
of today now. He's a permanent member of this stream now. Okay, we can't get rid of him either.
Your
Does he have a
chair?
name?
Yeah, he has a name now.
What is it?
Woody. Okay, we don't do anything to Woody.
I don't
okay,
like.
we leave
I don't
him
like
alone.
that name. Can you change it?
That's his name. No, his name is Woody, and this is where he lives now, forever, for the rest of the stream. He'll always be next to me. Okay, I'm gonna fucking glue googly eyes to him. That's what it will take to humanize this chair. Okay, everybody, stop demonizing him. He's beautiful, and I love him.
If you pull
Okay.
his cord, sit on me.
Jenny.
Jesus Christ!
Jenny says you spend how many? You spend X amount of hours sitting on Woody.
Yep, I do. And you know what? Well, it's mutually beneficial. Okay, he gets used. I sit.
Please don't ban me. I don't have any control over this strange woman who's on my stream.
I was gonna say something really terrible
Say
that
it.
wasn't actually true just to say it, but I'm not going to.
Well, now you have to.
Well, I was just gonna say sounds like a boyfriend of college in college, but then I changed my mind and said I shouldn't say that.
Does sound that.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, is it? Can we have number 4 now? Please.
Okay, I'm gonna have so much judgment for this.
Oh my god.
Are you ready for this? And I'm being completely serious about this.
You're being. This isn't a joke.
No, it's not a joke.
Okay,
and if
so-
you people judge me over this, I'm leaving.
So she has a list of 5 people that she would smash from Wild
No, I'm
RP.
making it right now. Yeah.
Characters from Wild RP that she would smash
Yeah.
in real life. This is number 4. Number 5 was Carter. This is number 4.
Yeah, and if you guys make fun of me, chat, you're included in this. I will lose my mind. Okay, just hear me out. There is nothing hotter on this entire planet than somebody who's funny, right? I'm going
Okay.
to okay, I would smash Fat Al. I'm not kidding. I would get me some of that Fat Al.
No, that's fair.
I don't
Yeah.
even know
That is
who
fair.
Fat Al is, so
Oh, he is so funny. He's one of my favorite characters on this server.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
One of
him
the
in so
DeChanzos.
long.
Mhm.
Al
Uh-huh.
Lombardo? He's not fat.
No. He goes by Fat Al, and he's what's his character for Law?
Deputy Teddy.
Teddy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I like
Mhm.
Teddy. I don't think I've met Fat Al. I know there's a Big Al, but he
Mm.
died.
You should send it to Ewan. He would love it.
Ewan
Okay.
also has a complete fascination obsession with Kanye West.
Oh God, okay. That's why I said the character, not the person. 'Cause I can't.
Wow. All right, can we get number 3? Can we get 2 in a row?
Oh, okay. Now number 3. I guess we're on a DiCenzo kick right now. Cesare.
Really?
Okay, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Uh-huh.
can see that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dark and broody and commanding.
Yeah.
Yep. There was one time
Like being
where
told what
my
to do.
Yeah,
yeah.
tell me what to do.
There was one time on my character, Sammy, where they were doing all the stuff with moonshine. They were basically organizing who was going and getting moonshine and stuff, and you had to send a telegram to Cesare and go meet up with him. And I remember I went on Sammy, who's like my fucking gremlin character. And I remember he was like super commanding that I was finding it really difficult to stay in character. I was like, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Everything's okay. I'm okay. Everything's cool. Are you fine? I'm fine. Everything's good.
Everything's good. It's good.
Everything's good. I definitely don't panic at all when I'm RPing. Never. Not
I
once in
think
my life.
everybody panics when they're RPing. The
Oh, yeah,
adrenaline
for
makes me
sure.
shake.
Yeah. My hand starts sweating on my mouse, and I'm like, ugh.
There have been times where I've been
Sweaty
like
hands,
ugly
gross.
sweating during RP scenes, like shootouts and
Clammy.
stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm
Is it
sweating
streaming down your face?
pretty fucking much. I've like taken my hand off my mouse, and I'm like, I need a towel. That is damp. I'm like, that is not. My palms are sweaty. I can't deal with it. Jesus.
Trench just says things in chat that I can't help but repeat. I sweat
Also,
waking up.
I don't appreciate Watercat from my community coming here and calling me out like that. That's not fair. All right.
Is that water cat?
Yeah, Watercat.
Water cat? Water?
Said, in or out of RP, when are you not panicking? That is just so fucking true, but so rude of you to bring up at this point in time. That is not fair. Fucking hell. Okay. Then 2 and then 1. Go.
Go.
Oh, 2 and 1.
Mhm.
Imagine there's 1 and 2 of you. So you both can answer, and then you can get my 1 and 2.
This is bullshit.
I'm not
We
doing
don't have
that.
to listen to your demands. We're in charge.
Well, then I don't have to give you 1 and 2.
That
Ain't
is
that
fair.
right,
Should they
chat?
give us 3?
Wow.
Should they
Ain't
give us
that right,
3?
chat?
Chat, are you going to let her pull this shit?
Yes, they will.
Look, Trench said, "Oh my god, look what you've done! You've upset
Trench is upset. He just woke up 2 hours ago.
us."
He's sweating. He's very upset right now.
Trench will give a list of 50, I'm sure.
Oh, do you guys want to hear something that I did to Trench, which was very, very mean in RP?
Yes.
So Trench and I are very good friends, and my favorite thing about Trench is that if you give him an offer of something, a lot of the time a lot of the time he'll pick it up and he'll go with it.
Yeah.
And so one time on Barclay, he went up to Esme and was like, there are the many women that I visit of the Valentine Saloon, the many men and women of the Valentine Saloon. And Esme was like, oh yeah. And he goes, yeah, there's at least 10 I go visit. And so I so cruelly, so meanly was like, give me the name of all 10. and he was like, oh yeah, you said 5. And then I said, not even top 10, give me the top 10. And he was very angry about it because I think he was streaming as well. And he sent me a DM afterwards and was like, I fucking hate you. And I was like, well, you know, don't leave. He got me in the end though. He got me really fucking good because I said, okay, and who's number 1? By the time he reached the end of the list, and he said, the last would be your mother. And I literally had to walk away because it was like 20 minutes of building up to that. Fucking bitch. But it's so fucking good. So he wants a top 10 list. Which is,
Fully in character.
Fully in character.
Of course, yeah.
Very much so.
I could hear. I almost called you Toby. I could hear Toby saying that. Your mother.
Barclay Oglethorpe. Well, I mean, you know. All right. Do we have to actually say ours?
No.
We've come this far and we haven't said it.
Well, I want it to be a mystery forever. I want people to talk about it in reaction videos.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, hold on. Wait. What are you doing? Come here. I mean, I don't know. There's a time and a place. We will eventually probably have to confess to it.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually. Because otherwise, I think that people are probably going to get, you know, upset like Kai.
Kai?
She just wants us to say.
Yeah, I stopped listening when you didn't say it.
Wow.
See? Told you.
Kidding,
Yeah, Kai, hurry up and say it before we stop caring. See, Trench is really digging into you. He's furious.
That's what Trench wants.
Okay, stop caring. Bye, Trench. Bye.
That's what you did to me yesterday. You're so cruel.
I do it to everybody.
Can we talk about how harsh you were to me live on twitch.tv/stoneflykai?
You were harsh to him?
Yeah.
He liked it? Why? What happened?
Excuse me?
Okay, so somebody ditched me.
Okay. That is not exactly true.
And then I, you know, was a sassy pants about it.
Sassy pants.
Sassy
That's
pants.
what we're calling it now.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty harsh, right, Trench? Trench,
back him up.
Trench,
Please.
Trench, help me out here. Trench, I don't care. Sick.
I don't care. See?
Perfect.
Trench knows what he wants.
Whoa, that's my face real big. You gotta make that small.
But you're so pretty. Everyone wants to see your pretty face.
Everybody.
Gorgeous lady, that is.
Gorgeous lady.
Gorgeous. Look at her. Stunning.
Gorgeous.
Incredible.
She's
Never
got a
been
stunning
seen before.
tattoo. Beautiful eyes.
Anubis.
What's that a tattoo of?
Anubis.
Anubis?
Yeah, so my right arm is Greek mythology. My left arm is Egyptian mythology.
That's super fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. You got any tattoos, Tank?
Yeah, I've got 3.
Yeah?
Yep.
Are they secret?
No, not particularly secret. I've got some peonies and kind of Japanese wave design on my shoulder. I've got a phoenix on my back that I got when I was 18. I'm actually getting that lasered. And then I have an owl on my calf that is a memorial piece for my friend who was killed.
Oh.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's that one, the calf one's actually my favorite. I think I've on stream like howled around, hopping on one foot, trying to like put my calf in front of the camera so
Right.
everyone can see it.
Yeah, I need tattoos so badly. Like I want them really, really bad. I think I'm gonna get one this summer.
I
Tattoos are
am
awesome.
also desperate.
Yeah, you're getting a B in TwitchCon, right?
I am. I very abruptly, as I usually do, made a decision, um, and went into Alex's chat, Fist of the Walrus's chat, and was like, "Do you want to get a tattoo with me at TwitchCon?" So now he and I are getting tattoos at TwitchCon.
Nice.
Because I figure that if I have somebody else to hold me to it, then I'll actually get one done.
Yeah.
Because I'm desperate to get it done, but I'm just such a fucking puss when it comes to pain. I don't.
There's
I think.
probably a place you could choose that's less painful, right? I don't know where it would be.
Well, I mean, the place that I wanted to get it, somebody was like, "Don't get it there. You'll die." And I was like, "Well,
Where
why?"
did you want it?
I wanted to get it on my rib cage, and they're like, "Don't
Oh
get
yeah,
it there."
yeah. And so basically anything that's like closer to like bones or like really sensitive nerve areas, like so for example, my shoulder piece, the part that was most painful is the part that was closest to my armpit, just because there's more nerve centered there, right? That's where it's gonna be bad. So yeah, anything like rib, feet,
Oh, yeah.
ditch, anything like that is gonna be bad.
I have both my ribs and my feet, and they were really bad.
Did you get
Mhm.
super
Oh, yeah.
drunk? Or what's
No, I don't.
No, no, you don't
If
wanna do
you
that.
drink, you bleed, and a lot of respectable tattoo artists won't tattoo
won't even
you if
tattoo
you've been
you if you're
drinking.
drunk. So what do you
Yeah,
do?
respectable ones.
You just like fucking bite the leather and just go through
Yeah,
it?
you enjoy
Bite,
it.
bite the strip.
Hi,
Well, there are
please.
some people who love the pain and stuff that happens with like tattoos,
Uh-huh.
and that's something that just they're like, yeah, I love that feeling.
If you're really nervous about it, they have numbing cream that they can put on your
Oh
skin.
yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, right, is it's like, I think for me, is it's like I don't have a problem with needles, which is something that I find really like I can get an injection, like I got my jabs for COVID and it was nothing, like I didn't even blink, like that stuff I find fine, but for some reason, just the idea of getting a tattoo to me sounds terrifying,
Yeah, a
but I
little.
desperately want one.
The only tattoos that freak me out are the people who get their eyes tattooed. Those are the only ones that I'm
Sorry,
like,
what?
what the fuck?
Your eyeballs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the whites to your eyes. Hmm.
You have them tattooed like black or whatever to make it look like you're a
Mhm,
shark?
like colors and stuff, yeah.
You get a galaxy tattoo on your eyeball?
I don't think anything that detailed. I think just like
Oh.
a color.
Yeah, I think the
Beast
water
face.
it just spreads. The ink just spreads
Oh,
probably.
okay,
I
so you
think.
just like, yeah, you're like, what color do you want your eyeballs to be? Can you go back to white? It's just like one and done. That's it, right? Or do you have to do
No.
like
Can't-
3 coats of paint to get it back?
No, well, I mean, I've heard that if you get tattoos in areas where you like consistently have moisture, it disappears after a certain time. Like people who get like inner lip tattoos and stuff, it'll break down over
Huh.
time. They usually only last like 2 years. So I don't know, could be, but I mean, the weird thing is that my sister's an optometrist, so you can literally get your entire eye numbed, and it feels bizarre. So I guess you could do it and not feel anything, but just the idea of a needle going into your eye just sounds like hell on earth. No.
Trench, is that what that is? I thought you were just smiling.
A second crack tattooed on my
I have a second crack tattooed on my butt. French. Here's a quick Google search for those of you that are wondering.
Jesus Christ.
That.
Oh my God.
Yeah, those are the ones that freak me out.
How does that
nuts.
even happen?
Yeah,
How do they
according
do
to
that?
Google, yeah, they stick around.
Huh. All right, Dirk. All right, it's gone, Dirk.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No, no, no. That is not good.
I would
That
only
is not
fuck
good.
one character with eyes like this. Trench, if you want to tell us,
Yeah, if
tell
you
us,
want to
man.
talk about it, join the call.
Trench, do you wanna jump in here and tell us yours? Is that what you want? You want your moment? You can have it.
He wants his moment, Chan.
He wants his moment. He wants to tell us. He's desperate to tell us.
Oh, that is a terrible idea.
Hey, the kill.
That
how was
that
7
doesn't
days?
that doesn't dissuade me. If that's what you think. If anything, that makes me want to know more. So I'm still feeling like heebie-jeebies looking at those eyeballs. That was not good.
Really?
No. Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I have a weird thing about like eyes. Like I don't like I have really sensitive eyes anyway. And the
Oh, you're
idea
one
of
of those
any-
people. Okay.
Yeah.
You
So
have an eye
like
thing.
yeah, so like the idea like and my sister's an optometrist and she's like done stuff to my eyes, but I like put up a fuss the whole time because I'm just like I hate this. I don't like people touching my eyes. Like at all. And I had to
It's the
wear
first thing I'm gonna do to you when we meet. I'm just gonna poke
I'm
you in the
gonna
eye.
Okay, if you poke me in the eye, I will literally do a Barkley Oglethorpe and I will suck your eyeball out through my nostril.
Oh my
I don't know.
god.
Yeah, Barkley once told Georgie that he has a credible and amazing training to be able to suck the eyeballs out of the skull of an
There-
animal.
No, Dirk, there are people who are like overly concerned for some reason about people touching their eyes. Like there's people that do that for some reason. Like they're
Mhm.
gonna be walking down the street and some little gremlin will come up to them and be like, "Let me touch your eye." Like that doesn't happen.
No, it does. My best friend
Really?
in high school used to lick people's eyes.
Like, but they don't just. They're not just like
No,
grabbing people's
drunk.
heads.
No. Yeah, we'd be drunk out at like a bonfire or something, and like she'd be talking to you, and then she'd grab your head and like lick your eyeball.
That actually makes me feel so uncomfortable. No,
Yeah.
I can't
She was
imagine.
like,
Yeah, okay, I have one question, and the
No.
whole chat is wondering right now.
mhm.
Was she hot?
She
For
was
fuck's sake!
no. She was smoking.
She was
Like
smoking hot.
she was super popular in like the entire like district because we were so small that the district. But that was her thing, and she did it, and whatever, it was cool.
Ryan Gosling could come up and lick my eye, and I'd still want to stab him. Absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
No.
Hmm.
Like I have a lot of like weird things, like phobias and stuff, and just I do not like my eyes like being touched at all. Like
I don't
I've had
think
glasses.
anyone likes that.
No, but the thing is it's like it makes me feel
I don't like
like
getting stabbed.
I get super nervous about
This
it.
weird
Like
phobia.
I don't even really like putting on mascara that much because I don't like the idea of something going into my eye. Like it scares me. And it's just because I
Okay.
think I've, I have like super sensitive eyes. Like I used to get like a lot of like eye infections when I was younger, and I don't know. Like
Is that why you don't wear eye contacts?
I do from time to time, but only when it comes to like acting stuff. But for the most part, I wear my glasses. Like
So when
all
you
the time.
absolutely have to, you'll put a contact in.
Yeah, if I have to, I'll
Is-
put it in.
Is it easier because you're the one touching your eyes, or
No, it still sucks, and I hate it.
it still sucks? Okay.
I remember the first time I ever put them in, and it was I had to go to work, and they were like, "You need to wear these," and I was like, "Not like I don't know how the fuck to do this." So I literally woke up 2 hours before I was supposed to go to work just so I could put them in my eye because I was so nervous about it and scared. And I was like, I want to make sure I do this right. So I literally like stood in the mirror, like psyching myself up because I knew it was going to take me forever to get them in there. Over time, I got better at it. But the first time I ever had to put them in, I was like, I need to allot like a whole bunch of time to do this because I don't want to do it. But I have to. I have no choice. No. Don't like it. Big no. No.
Would you like to say no 3 more times?
No. Okay, listen. All right.
Wow.
I have my weird things. Don't make me feel weird about this. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay. Trench said, ever since summer camp, I can't handle getting things in my eyes. Kai, thoughts on this? I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
I don't have any thoughts on that. How about you, Tank? Do you have any
I'm too entertained by B's reaction to this.
I can't. I just Trench just says things for the shock value.
I could give you some eye jokes, but they're pretty cornea.
She just spins around. Is it that hour, Kai? Is it dad joke hour?
It's always dad joke.
Is it that time now?
Always.
I mean, it makes sense. I hate, I think the only reason I get so mad about it is because I don't have the wit to be able to come up with dad jokes as quickly as you do. I wish I did.
Just my favorite.
I'm so jealous. I have never been able to come up with stuff like on the fly like that either. I wish. I just make dumb, crass, nasty jokes.
I do that too.
And that's generally my sense of humor.
No, I'm the same way. Like I'm not good with puns or anything like that. Beast, have I told you about my realization about my own gang name?
No.
So when I play J King, right, and our gang was the Crown Jewels, and this name was pitched by, I think, Henry and Crow were the ones who originally pitched it, and I was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm super into that kind of thing, right? We had this gang for like, it was a solid like month or two until someone reacted to the name, and it finally dawned on me that the name was a pun.
Crown Jewels?
Yes.
I feel stupid. I don't get it.
I don't know what we're talking about. What happened?
I was talking about my inability to grasp puns. Crown Jewels can be used as a pun for a man's nether regions.
Oh!
The family jewels.
Yes. But I did not realize this. I did not realize this was a double.
That's what the gang named themselves after, a wiener?
No, it's called the Crown Jewels, and it's supposed to be like
the huevos.
The joke is because they're very into like literal gemstones, which is how I had been interpreting it the entire time. And then someone pointed it out, and I was just like, how did I not get this?
Huh.
My own gang.
That is a good point, and I never thought about it until just now.
Oglethorpe wanted to join you because of that.
Holy fuck.
No, me and not Oglethorpe. I think it was God, this creepy ass character.
His creepy character? Trench, who was your creepy character?
Maynard,
yeah.
Maynard. I love Maynard.
Number 2, just kidding.
Maynard? Oh, hell yeah.
Fuck no.
Why not? What's wrong with Maynard?
He's creepy, weird ass motherfucker with the worst ass, creepy ass voice. Could you imagine? That voice? Like, woo!
Okay.
Girl.
Well, we're gonna officially put number 2 as Maynard unless you tell us what number 2 actually is.
No. What are you looking at, Orc?
This is what I'm gonna be drinking. This is what I have been drinking. It's called Frangelico. and it's all I have to drink. It's a hazelnut liqueur, and it's delicious.
Is the bottle dressed like a monk?
Yeah, it's okay. No, it's from a it's it's from it's a friar invented it, I guess.
Oh, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's it's from Italy. Yeah.
Tank, are you
Very
drink?
nice.
It's kind of expensive.
Am I drinking
Yeah, something besides water.
tonight? No.
Yeah, me neither.
Sorry.
No,
I would
I'm
drink
not
more
in on
wine, but
the celebrations.
Are you out of wine, B?
I am.
Well, now I'm gonna be the drunken asshole on the street. Dang.
We all act like
Perfectly
it, so
fine.
we don't need it.
Okay.
You're
Alright.
perfectly fine. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the time when I'm sitting on the podcast, I'm mowing through a bottle of wine.
How about this? Sorry, B.
No, go.
I was just gonna say next time I come on, and I'll turn on my camera next time I'm on. I just wasn't prepared tonight. I will drink with you guys for reals, and
Okay.
you guys then will know if you think normal Kai is bad. Then drunk
God.
Kai will be pretty boring because then she'll just be mellowed out.
Chat,
and
just so
practically
you know,
asleep.
this is happening in January. She's already promised me. She said
I have promised.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm moving. I'm moving the stool under my chair because I have short legs.
okay. You have short legs?
I'm 5'2".
5'2". What's up, Kasins? Kasins is gonna drink with me. Ah.
Oh, hell yeah. 5'2".
5'2" is short. Actually, what's the average for women? I think is only like 5'3" or 5'4" in
I will
the
look it up.
States.
Average height.
I was like
Hi, Kason.
5'6".
Yeah, I thought it was taller than that
No,
too.
it's not.
in US. 5'4".
Yeah. You're a couple
Yeah.
inches shorter than average.
5'4" is the average height for women. What is it for men? Hold on.
5'9".
Yeah, wow, yeah, it was 5'9".
Because I love making the joke that I am the average height of the American male.
So
Hell's yeah.
basically, you tell everyone you're 6 foot, but you're actually 5'9".
That's why your name's Tiny.
That's the average American male. Yeah, I'm 6 feet tall.
In New Zealand. Okay, apparently the average height for women is 5'5".
In New
New
Zealand?
Zealand. Yeah.
What about just like worldwide?
Probably
Average
shorter,
height
I would think.
for women
Probably like 5'3".
worldwide.
I don't think so. You have like,
China.
well, maybe.
It's like a
Well,
billion people there.
I was gonna say I feel like Asia, yeah, slopes it downwards.
Oh wow, okay. This is average height for women worldwide. This is interesting. Okay. So in the Netherlands, it is 5'5". United States is typically 5'3" to 5'4". Guatemala is 4'8".
How many countries are there? How many? Like, are you gonna list off
Guatemala.
everything?
No, there's just a bunch, but they're the ones that like are range.
Is there
the
a
most.
world average?
No, I'm looking it up and I can't really find anything. I'm trying.
Number
to see
25, Deputy Pavis.
if-
4'8" is average is wild though. I can't
Wait,
even
4'8"
imagine that.
where?
Guatemala. I think,
Guatemala.
Yeah. Wait, shortest
Damn.
average height country. Here we go. Countries with the shortest average heights. World Atlas. Let's see. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. All right. So Sri Lanka is 5'1". Philippines is 5'1". Bolivia is 4'11". 4'11" is the average height for men and women. That's tiny.
Says the global average height is 159.5 centimeters for women.
God damn. I'm sitting well above average then.
Somebody math us. Hold on.
That is so weird. I never
centimeter to.
it is bizarre to me to imagine that the average height for somewhere is like 4 foot something. That is insane to me. I feel like I'd feel bizarre turning up there. I don't know how. I am somebody who already
5
just
foot.
very much tries to hide the fact that I'm tall a lot of the time, because I don't know. I feel like being tall sometimes can be a negative thing. I used to be super self-conscious about it, weirdly enough. Now, not so much. So I can't imagine being in a place where the average height is that short.
Like a tall person is like 5'3" and they're strutting around, and then they bump into you thinking that you're a pillar or something.
Well, I mean, yeah, that would be the place to go if you were ever feeling self-conscious about your height. Just
Yeah.
go there and you'll be average. Just slightly above average, but average nonetheless.
Who is the average number 2 wild RP character people would want to bank? Yeah, we just got to take a census from everyone, and then we'll know.
Yeah, how
so
about the
let's start
chat?
with Kai. Start with Kai
Yeah.
first.
No, the
Yeah.
chat needs to answer. You motherfuckers who are sitting here judging us can go ahead
Yeah,
and put
that's
your
right.
answers in the chat.
That's right, chat. Give us your
And-
1 and 2. Give us your 1 and 2, okay? And then Kai will answer, all right?
And if there isn't at least one of my characters in there, I'm going to be offended. And
Same.
leave.
If somebody doesn't type Otis in, I will cry.
Ain't nobody going for Otis, okay?
What? He's such
He's
a
probably still
sweetheart.
suckling on his mama's titties.
Excuse me, madam. He left his mother.
So did his wife.
His wife left him as well because she was banging the deacon that married him. Yeah, well, thanks for bringing that up, B. Oh, yeah, me wife got me divorced because she was fucking the deacon that married us.
Oh, shit.
Fucking Otis.
Oh, my God.
Hardcore says Molly and Precious Cargo. I think Molly's going to be on there a lot.
Molly. That makes sense. She's a sweetie.
Crown Jewels member.
The OG milkman, that's right. Tommy Roach.
Cyrus,
that's a
for
fake.
sure.
That's a fake answer. Laser Blazer.
Tommy Roach? What's wrong with Tommy Roach?
He's
Bad
shit crazy.
Some people might be into that.
okay. All right, fair.
Some people might be into the whole, knife to the
Molly
throat
will
thing.
write about it. You think?
Don't.
Okay.
It leans a little to the left.
Trench is not allowed to talk anymore.
Danny.
Oh my God.
He'd be talking to you the whole time. Shut up,
What's
Danny.
wrong with that?
He would be complaining.
I mean.
Now he wants to talk. Get in your ass in here then.
Now I want to talk. All right. We'll let we'll let him in.
Okay, Sins. Get out of here. Cyrus? Oh, so you're into the dead ones?
No, I think B and I have already had this conversation before where I'm like, I like making attractive characters. Most of my
Oh.
characters are very attractive.
Mhm.
I am in the same boat. And I also, every single one has to have like I'm a lip person in real life, like men and women. A good mouth is a good thing. And that's like the most important thing on the characters to me.
A good mouth.
I
did not customize
something
my
about
mouth at all.
Mouths and arms. I'm just into it, all right?
There's no real customization for arms and stuff though, right? You're just like you're either thick, thin, or somewhere in the middle, right?
No, you can
change
buff
the
out your arms.
definition too.
Mm-hmm.
You can change the definition,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
but you can't make your arms like just your arms bigger.
No, unfortunately not.
Yeah, when somebody okay, all right. I don't know. Zug and the Bug after dark. When
Yeah.
you
It turns into that inevitably every single time.
when somebody's talking and they have like nice teeth and like good lips and you just watch their mouth, come on. Like, does nobody agree with me?
No, absolutely, of course. This. All right. Let's change this.
I mean,
subject.
no, look. There's things that you can
I'm-
pay attention to when somebody's talking.
I'm bumping all of my lists down and Mills is number 3 on my list.
You already had your number 3.
Yeah, no, I'm bumping them down. I forgot about Mills. Mills is on the list.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, Mills is pretty sweet.
Yeah, I like Mills.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
What?
You should.
Look.
Kasons, you can record that if you want.
Oh
And,
my god, he's
make
here.
it your alert.
Hi, Trench baby.
French.
Trench.
Yeah, I mean, I'm free to. Riggs is free to do what she wants now, y'all.
He's about to.
Oh
He's
no, that.
I'm just here to keep this conversation on track for what everybody wants to know.
Right.
What fictional characters that people we know have made up that most of the time represents themselves do we want fictional characters to represent ourselves? No, personally, do we want to fuck representations of people we know that we want to have sex with?
Case-
And that's what I'm here to just straighten out because I feel like we've derailed.
Trench, how much have you had to drink?
This much.
I can tell on your slurred words.
I fully support this. All right, let's go, Kai. Number 2.
No, 2 and 1 come after I hear yours.
Oh my god!
So-
Just say- you said how you were gonna tell everybody, and you're gonna know bang, bang, bang. It would be no problem.
No. Riggs never left Baz for Mills.
Oh god.
You're all dropping off my list.
Ever.
Oh my god, with this behavior.
Who's your number 1?
I said Marilyn.
Oh,
I
Marilyn.
wanna fuck up
Maryland's a good choice.
Marilyn is a good choice.
Marilyn is a great choice. Marilyn
I had
is a
another
fucking
one. I
excellent
can't remember
choice.
now. Probably Ed.
Ed. Fuck yeah.
Ed. What?
Fuck yeah.
So Nia.
Can we,
is
wait, are we
actually-
talking about dead characters too? Because the number 3 I think would be Camino. That's one.
Oh,
pretty big.
Camino. Oh,
Yeah.
we all okay. Camino is automatically on
Even if
everybody's
he'd been
list.
dead for just a couple weeks, so probably still Camino would be top 10.
Oh my
He was
god.
that hot. Oh, or no, Ortega's top 5.
Or okay,
Yes,
Ortega
that's
and
the
Case or Casons, not Casons.
Wow. Whoa, it's all coming out here
So happy.
live on the Zug and the Bug.
I was reading chat. Camino are automatically on the list.
I can definitely get behind that. Absolutely. Camino would definitely be on mine. 100%.
Mm-hmm. Mine too.
Hmm.
Douglas.
Dr.
shut the
Morgan,
fuck up.
you mean Dr. Double D? What was it that you guys called that
Dr.
character?
Boobs.
Dr.
Dr.
Boobs.
Boobs.
Terrible.
Trench. It's terrible.
Hey,
I mean,
suddenly
you're gonna say
Panda.
Dr.
Hey,
Breast.
Pandas, if you wanted to come on the chat, there were people who wanted to see you more than me. So
Whoa.
you could come in
Wow.
too.
That was one
One
person.
person.
No,
There's
Panda's
one
only
voice
allowed
that-
to come on if he gives his list.
That's true.
Panda's
Oh
only
my
allowed
god,
to come
why
on.
nobody here is giving their fucking list. And you're all on. I'm the only one. Everybody get out.
Shut up.
All right, I better go to bed.
No.
All right, Kai.
He said get out if I'm not going to give my list.
No, that is rude.
No, but I'm not. But Panda
Take
can't
it
come on
over.
unless you give your list.
No, Panda can come on and give his list.
No.
You seem to think that you're making the rules here,
I am.
and
Chat-
B is
chat's-
making the rules.
Chat
No.
supports me in
Just
what I've said
Tell
about
everyone
you guys have
it's
to give us.
McGregor, and
No.
then it'll be over.
No, it's not.
Wow. Well, now
But-
I don't care anymore. Moving on. Is it Kaniklo,
Holy fuck. Kaniklo?
No.
the bath boy?
Mm-mm.
As long as he leaves that shirt on during it.
The frilly shirt?
What was that face that you just did?
That's my fucking Kaniklo face.
Oh my god!
You are gonna get TOS.
Trench!
How? Was Kaniklo a weird word in another language? I think you could say.
Kai, help. Tell us your number 2.
I can't control him. What do you mean help?
I told you this is a terrible idea.
Kaniklo
love
would
you.
say, oh my.
French, I adore you so fucking much.
So
There's a reason
now
you're
that
my
we have
favorite person.
5 people on here, what do... All right.
Herbie's not on my list, no. But one of Trench's characters is on my list.
That's my
Oh.
Russian character.
Olivier?
He's made to just be a giant, handsome oaf.
Is it Olivier?
Oh, okay, no. Let's be real. I would a one night stand smash Olivier. The way he would talk to
She
you.
made the clap.
Oh.
Olivier?
Olivier, do this. Daddy? Wait, say the things you'd. Oh, like say something inappropriate that you would say.
He's French.
Yeah, but he'd
He's
say
French.
something.
Something, you know.
Grinnig!
Oh,
Can we get Grinnig on and hear his list?
Oh my
too?
god!
my
Oh
God.
my god!
Kai.
It's gonna be here forever.
Stop
You're not
deflecting.
nobody here has said their fucking list or any names but me. Finish your
What about
goddamn
Tank?
list before you start throwing
Tank,
people
Tank,
off.
Tank said his.
I
Tank
did.
did?
Tank did good. That's one.
Tank
That's why
did.
Tank is cool. I said I have no problem with Tank.
You have a
I
problem
love
with me?
Tank. I have a problem now.
I
Unless you
even
don't say your
included a
last
self-burn in
name.
mine. It was great.
All right, Kai.
How can you say now Herbie in the canon? Good point.
I'll give my top 2 when I come on in January.
Ah, okay. That's, I guess.
I can respect that.
That is fair.
Alright.
I can get behind that. That is absolutely fair.
I'll continue to add one night smashes.
One night smashes.
Let's see. Hold on. I have to log into 7 Days to Die, and some things have to go missing.
Don't
What?
you fucking touch
Steal.
my machine guns.
Do it. Take it.
Don't you. I
I'll
will.
cut you the machine guns.
I will
We have that
fuck you
addiction
up.
is growing impressively.
I
day
will-
by day.
Yeah, I will log on right now and murder your ass. is what
I'm
will
getting the feeling
happen.
that you really like
Wow!
survival games, Kai.
Are you excited to come play on the romp server on Wednesday?
I'm going to be so far behind and have no fucking idea what I'm doing, but yeah, I'll come play with you.
Well, I'm starting out brand new on that server, so we'll be
Oh, is
coming
it
in
going to
at
be
the same exact time.
Oh, okay. You haven't played on that server yet. What server were you playing on?
I'm playing on Vert's server, but we're gonna play on the
Oh.
romp. And I think Trench and his friend Dan are gonna come play too, but not with us.
Okay. Yeah.
We're
No,
gonna
we will
play-
be actively digging under your base and then cave you in just when everything seems great.
Wait. Tank's laughing, but
because she won't say the
he's
top
being
two,
completely
Trench?
serious.
No, I love that.
Well, yeah, I will have dug out everything from under your base except the one pillar that's holding the whole thing up. And if you don't tell us the top two, I'm just gonna take my shovel, I'm gonna dig it out, and everything you've built for a week will just come crumbling down.
Is that how the physics work in that game?
Yeah, you can
Mhm.
actually dig it. Yeah, I
Mhm.
tried to do that to somebody once, but the whole event ended because people were metaing and they got butthurt and left. I was so close to digging out their base. It took
Damn
me.
it.
It took me 2 weeks. I dug from halfway across the map. I had nothing to do.
Nothing like
I
Spike
still
to
don't.
make you
so-
dig for 1,000 hours.
We're looking forward to making a tunnel to a bee farm that's not far from where we're
Mm.
staying.
Mhm.
Build
very
a shrine
exciting.
around
Nice.
the
I'm building a shrine
fiberglass
around
bee.
the bee sign. It's very important to me. That is my project. I get
I have a question.
Wait,
yeah.
No, I have a question.
Okay.
Tank. How the hell do you have like 1,000 zombie kills already?
that was my
This is-
question too.
Because I'm awesome.
No
I've just been
shit.
grinding quests. That's all I've been, because I'm trying to get through all the tier 3 quests. So I'm just great at killing zombies now. I'm getting the hang of the game.
Why do you want to get through the tier 3 quests?
Because then anywhere I go, I can do the tier 3, and then it's like, I don't know if the rewards are different, but I know the different traders sell different things. So then it's like, if I'm already going there to buy something, then I can also just like do a tier 3 quest. And it's just, and then when you rank up the quests, it also gives you rewards and stuff. So I've been gathering. I started with Righty and Jenny Howe, and I've just been filling their coffers with like all these items. So I'm just like every time they get on, they can just gear themselves out with like all these things I've collected.
That's the kind of teammate you want.
But I picked out my new base spot. I'm very excited about.
It's fun.
Nice.
I would have sex with Eliza because I think it would just piss off Danny. And sometimes I love Dren, but I think that would just be funny and people would like it.
I like Dren too, but can I be real? I think
I'm sorry.
McGregor might hate him the most. Are you okay?
They're laughing.
Yeah, I know they are.
He's just broken.
B is broken because we were not talking about sex at all, and you're like, fuck.
All right, can we actually? You have 3 guests on.
Yes.
Can we actually hear one of your answers?
Not mine. Look, okay.
I actually can't handle being around Trish.
I get that a lot from women.
Yeah.
Too bad.
I've heard that too.
I'm fucking crying. Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
McGregor, give us number 3. You want me to give you my number 3? Or okay.
Deputy Ripley.
Actually,
Highlands and
absolutely
Lowlands.
not. No. Negative. I don't think Ripley would be on there. No. Number 3.
I would put Sheriff Nelson on my list. That's for sure.
I was gonna put Sheriff Nelson on mine. 100%. I find her so intimidating, and I don't know, maybe that says volumes about me, but I would want somebody to just intimidate the fuck out of me the entire time.
You want someone intimidating?
Okay, all right, whatever you want to do, Nelson. But yeah, 100% Nelson's on my list.
You want somebody to boss you around?
She's in my top 3, yeah. For
yeah,
sure.
no, Mama's not on there because she ain't 30. She's like 90, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I think that Kylie Slim. I haven't really thought about what my number 3 would be.
Why are we talking number 3 when we could be
I don't know.
talking number 1?
We're trying to come up with a compromise because I'm not telling you. It's gonna be like a season finale.
Can I just also say something that I am all for these new rules of punishments for doing crimes against the law.
You're for them?
Well, I just wanted to change the subject to something normal, but as soon as you start talking about it, I'm just going to talk about fucking people again. So I'm just going to warn you now.
I'm gonna stab.
Okay, look.
Stab Trish.
That's actually
He's
interesting.
literally
Hold on.
just here to troll.
No.
No, that's legitimate conversations about who I want to fuck.
He's not trolling. He's serious about who he wants to smash. Kai.
I'm sorry. Have sexy intercourse with.
But okay. You're making it worse. Okay, but you play a civilian character. So that's actually an interesting perspective. You're for these
Oglethorpe's
rules.
a criminal.
Do you... Oglethorpe is not a criminal. He's done
he's
crime.
been arrested twice. But...
Yeah,
They
but
won't
it's for
let him
his-
go to Sisika though because he's done crimes. Technically, he's a criminal.
Just
Technically, George is a
kidnapping.
criminal.
Why? Because you stole poker chips.
No, she fucking killed a man.
She murdered somebody.
Yeah, she killed
fucking killed a
someone.
man.
I knew they should have put her away.
Bitch, you would.
She also got caught for a
No,
livestock
we're not
wrestling.
getting into this now.
For him, for Curtis. No. it's
Yeah,
cool.
for Cunningham.
Yeah. I meant the stuff you did in the past.
Yeah. So she got arrested for livestock wrestling.
Yeah, she did. That's true. In fact, that was that was Ortega's most polite arrest that he's ever made.
Oglethorpe got arrested for kidnapping and gang violence, just very minor crimes. And only gang violence because I completely lied about shooting Tommy Two Snakes during that fight, which I did, and I shot him down, and nobody believed that everybody easily believed, oh no, I ran away, I didn't do anything. When my best friend was getting shot at with a shotgun, why the hell would I do anything?
Okay, they drew.
Are those
your
the
friend
faces you
drew
make when you're doing his
first.
voice?
He did. What was
The
that?
only pure here is McGregor, probably. Georgie was a filthy crim. for
Yeah,
a long
McGregor's
time.
never broken the law in
Yeah.
the crossing.
He has
George-
broken the law.
Has he?
Yes.
What did he do? It was breaking the law.
Do we want to meta?
meta?
Do we want to meta all
Did he
these
break the
people?
law? Well, I didn't.
It's a very, it's incredibly minor. Incredibly minor.
He didn't hitch his horse.
No.
Did he speed through town?
Loitering.
He gave someone
A beer?
contraband in prison.
That's not on the penal
Serious
code.
contraband.
Beer is not contraband, according to the penal code.
Oh, well, okay. Then he has not broke the law.
Interesting. Hell fucking yeah.
I think Tank.
Riggs has no redemption, guys. She's fucked.
McGregor's just an idiot who
guys,
doesn't understand that.
I just saw a clip posted in my Discord titled Trench's thoughts on Kaniklo, and now I'm having a lot of regrets.
Trench war.
Yeah, when you wake up in the morning not trashed.
I
Enjoy
don't give a
that
shit.
clip.
I love Kaniklo. I love his character before Orbulus. He was fucking weird, and I love it.
I really actually like Kaniklo. He's hilarious. He tries to get arrested, and it's so funny.
Mills is mad at her.
Oh,
Sorry, I was talking to your chat and I interrupted you.
I'm sorry.
Mills is
How
mad
dare
at
you
who-
interrupt?
Oh,
At Riggs.
at Riggs, yeah.
hmm
I forgot where we were.
You were
I
going
was
to talk about the.
about the rules.
As a civilian.
Yeah, as a civilian, you appreciate those rules. I would think that as a civilian, I'd be like, what the fuck? They can murder me and it's okay?
I don't know if it says it's more. I just think as there is a need to make crime against the law something people consider more seriously before they do it. I think it has weight now. So if someone does do something, it's like, okay, that's a big deal. And they intended to do that and they knew the consequences. So it must be pretty fucking serious, which is better for their story. And also, just sort of the law should be the law should be in a lot of times the overwhelming force that criminals are looking to overcome. Like the criminals most of the time should be the underdog until you get to a point where, someone's just a fucking crazy monster and then they earned it. And I think those penalties, I haven't lost my cool and said, I'm going to fucking kill you to somebody who pissed me off.
Yeah.
So we'll see how I react when I have to sit out for a day. But I think it just gives weight and it's good. It changes the dynamic a little bit. And, the good thing is if it gets all fucked up and it's weird, then you can always, change it and adjust it. So tone it down a bit or make it worse, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
And even something like the whole killing. See, the big thing is the perma, right? If you premeditated kill somebody. And in general, I am opposed to the fact of you losing control of what of whether or not your character lives or dies. In general, I'm opposed to that. But if you know the consequences beforehand, you're still making the choice to do that sort of thing. And it's not like somebody's gonna you go into it doing it, and it's not like, oh, so I didn't know this person was gonna perm and I get fucked over, So it's
yeah, don't do the
I think it's
execution
worth
animation,
trying,
right?
Yeah. Or
Shoot
just
him in the leg.
beat the shit out of him,
Yeah.
or I'm going to shoot you in the foot before right now, whatever it is.
Exactly.
Just show you're not trying to kill them, and it's fine.
And then if they perma, it's like, well, they didn't have the intent. So,
Yeah, and that's one of the
Yeah.
things that like we really tried to stress, right? Is that we want like there has to be clear intent, right?
Mm.
We don't want it to feel like that, like, oh, I can accidentally end up perming my character, whatever, right? It's like it's not that at all. Like it's you are very clearly making a decision as a character, as a role player to take this action, and that's when there's going to be that consequence, right?
Do and coming from a very like honest and sincere place, do you feel like any of that's going to take away some of these obviously Banks was extreme, and I'm not talking about the Banks situation, but like conflict, like one-on-one conflict, like Summers and Cash, for example, like the
hmm
conflicts that you can have with the law. Do you think that's going to take anything away for them, or do you think that that's still going to be a possibility?
Personally, I don't, and that was even like my initial kind of gut reaction. So back in season 3, I want to say it's almost a year ago. Actually, it was last January because I was looking up the dates. I was curious. Last January, there was a scene where after a shootout, the Lion Gang kidnaps Ortega and they take him to Manzanita Post, patch him up, and then he and Robbie Gold have this very long conversation. And at the end of it, Robbie Gold shoots Ortega execution style, and the idea was that what's his name, Miles Giles, was supposed to take him back to Blackwater, but basically like I bugged out, I flew off the horse, like it was a whole thing. They couldn't find me, so he didn't get taken back to Blackwater. Of course, that was the intent. But so when we first were talking about these rules, that was my even initial reaction was like, hold on a second, whoa, like that was one of my favorite scenes I've had. I worry, like, is this going to dissuade people from having those kinds of scenes, right? Out of fear that because I didn't perma, but I could have permed, right? I very easily could have permed off of that action. And the more we talked about it, the more I realized it makes sense where it's like if you know that you have this conflict with this character, one, there's so many other ways to address it and build on it. I think sometimes people go immediately to like, we're going to take you out back and shoot you kind of thing, right? Versus the, let's threaten you for a while. Maybe we, like they're saying, like shoot you, beat the crap out of you, whatever the case is, right? Building up to it. And then two, I know that there is a hesitancy not to because people don't want like spoilers and meta and stuff like that, which for sure agree with 100%. But I think there's a difference between like, would you be okay if I kidnap you and take you to the top of a mountain and give you this speech and shoot you, right? Or I know we have our characters have this conflict, right? If we were to have some sort of scene, like are you interested in perma, right? Like, is that on the table, kind of thing, right? And then we even talk about that on the page there, so that way, at least you kind of know where the other role player's head is at. And granted, there's so many things that could be different, when the actual scene comes to pass, right? But if both parties are in agreement, right? We want to build up this conflict, but neither of us are really looking to perma right now, then at least that gives you some reassurance that I can have a very extreme scene with you, knowing that like that neither of our intent is for the character to perma, right? And if the other player, is something like saying like, I just don't really know, or I want to keep it on the table, or whatever the case is, right? And that lets you know if you're very much like, I don't want to perma my character, no matter what happens in the story, I don't want to die. Then you know that like, okay, yeah, maybe I should pull punches to an extent where I know I'm not going to be crossing that line, right? And I think that it's not necessarily a bad thing in general. Like I think there's more that people can do in general to reach out to each other, right? It's so easy to get caught up in like this in character, everything should be in character 100% of the time kind of thing. But at the end of the day, right, there are people behind each of these characters, right? This is very different from a scripted play or film or something like that, where there is an
Mm.
expected outcome, an expected arc, and all that kind of thing, right? I think there is nothing wrong, and in fact, it's often a good thing to reach out to people, even with something like like anytime you're going to torture a character, right? You're reaching out to other role players saying, "Hey, are you okay if I torture you? If I do X, Y, Z?" So I think having that out of character communication to a certain extent without going into like meta territory is a good kind of band-aid for if you are feeling strongly that, yeah, I want to have an extreme scene with somebody, but I am not ready to let go of my character yet.
So if you're having, I guess this is clarification on the rules. And so if you're having like those talks with people and say Riggs and McGregor, I threaten him. If I'm having a conversation with him, are you still facing that OOC time, or you still are, but you just know that you're facing it?
I think they wanted to change. Kano really wants to change that to one day real life, like not OOC, because people get confused and think that it's an out of character punishment, but it isn't, right? Tank, it's in character punishments, but it's just
Well, yeah,
a
but
real
like
life day,
a
Yeah.
real life day OOC, but like a real life day. So
right?
say I have that conflict, or yeah, like it escalates where I was threatening you, I was sending telegrams,
Right.
and you face you face like a day off for that, right?
Yes, if you get caught again. So this is those threats are very specific and very explicit, right? It's not just like a general threatening someone. It is like a next time I see you, I'm going to kidnap you and cut your tongue out, right? Like something like that, like where it is a very specific, credible threat of violence. So I feel like hopefully, presumably, that charge is not going to come to pass very often. And when it is, it's literally a precursor to this person
Something big.
is literally planning on taking this law
Right.
character and shooting them, cutting them, torturing them, whatever the case is, right? Like it is a precursor to an actual act of violence. And that's the only time that would even apply is if for example, let's use the Cyrus permit, right? So Julius tells who was involved, Cash tells Cash, yeah, I'm next time I see you, I'm gonna shoot your brains out, right? Like something like that, like that. Like he tells Cash that, and then in the process of between me having that conversation with him and me actually kidnapping him, shooting him, I get caught. Then I get a day off, right? That's where that would come into play.
So are you saying that
sorry,
if he did that to you in front of a sheriff's office, was like, I'm gonna kill you, you wouldn't arrest him right then?
generally, no. I would say because if it's like part of like an argument or something like that, right? Basically, the idea is we want it to be a clear and explicit threat that we think like we have reason to believe someone's going to follow through on. Like if it was like Cash and Julius back and forth arguing, and he's like I'm gonna fucking kill you or something like that, right? That would be more of just a general threat versus like a very clear. I send a telegram to Anon saying, I'm going to pick up this sheriff and cut their ears off, right? That is a very specific, explicit, deliberate threat. And so I tried to word that as clearly as we could to make sure it's like, it's not going to just be a general, like, blustering or an argument, whatever the case is, right? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, for sure.
I don't think
And
McGregor would arrest anyone for that unless he was like, sure.
Yeah, I do still think it's a good thing. Like I said, the law needs to be feared, and they need to be respected, and they need to have the power to not be ran over.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So I just clarifying.
Yeah, and again, we'll see how it plays out. But like I said, I really don't see that charge being used except in a situation where it's very clear, direct, violent, and they have very good reason to believe that this is a precursor to an actual violent attack. And that would be the only time this kind of charge would be used.
For sure.
That's a good question. The Phoenix just asked in chat, so would this apply to Isabella's current story? Because I think Isabella's pretty upset about the recent execution of can't remember his name, but Cyrus.
That's a great example. So with Isabella currently, from what I understand, I mean, one, of course, she's going to be charged for attempted murder, and so that is going to go into play. And generally, what we're doing here is we're not stacking charges, quote unquote, right? It's going to be the biggest charge. So if you threaten an LEO and then you later pick up that LEO and beat them, and then a week later you pick them up and you attempt to murder them, you're only getting the charge for the attempted murder, right? You're not getting all 3 of those charges.
Hold on though. That I actually have a clarifying question though, because how I've been taught in character as McGregor is that we don't stack charges for the same offense. But that sounds like 3 different incidents.
Yes. So it's a little different for these out of character bench sentences, and then that's where the difference comes into play, is because we want stories to be able to escalate, right? It's supposed to be like when you hit that murder charge, right? That is like, or no, murder's execution. You hit that attempted murder charge, like that is the biggest you're getting, right? We don't need people like going away for like 3 months, right? That's overkill at that point.
Right.
The idea is so that way,
a month is a long time.
Exactly. So you can commit multiple crimes between where you start and where you get caught, before you're actually going to get whatever charge. But yeah, so she did send up a tip saying she was going to try and kill 4 more people. That would be criminal threats for sure. In this particular case, you could arguably add maybe an extra day on top, but she's already getting the attempted murder, which is what, like 14 days, something like that.
Right.
So she's already getting such a big sentence. We probably wouldn't put an extra day on top of that. If it was something like, let's say she did this attempted murder and that was the end of this arc, right? That was the only, like, she only had a problem with one particular lawman. She tried to kill him. That was it. She's still on the run for the next like month, and then there's a separate incident where she makes a threat that she's gonna murder somebody, just like I tried to shoot that other officer, whatever the case. That would probably be another day at that point. So it's just it's really, right, we're just trying to be as like as fair as possible.
It sounds like right now we're you put these rules in place and we're still as staff, you're still trying to figure out, okay, like what's the right thing to do in this situation, and it sounds like we're still kind of figuring some things out, maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's still, we're gonna see how it all actually plays out in practice, and a big part of it too is going to be kind of how much do people get away with before they get caught and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's difficult to determine the precedence there. But yeah, generally it's going to be kind of the whatever, like the biggest crime that was committed is what they're going to be charged for, and they're not going to get multiple charges unless it really makes sense.
To be clear, Lowdown Shane just said, so if you're going to do it, go on and get as many as possible. I don't think that's what I don't think he's saying that you can attack, like assault a deputy and then assault another deputy, like for a separate thing, and then assault a third deputy and then still just get charged for one if these are all separate stories.
Yeah, to be clear, those would definitely be multiple. So Isabel's another good example, right? So she attempted to murder one deputy, right? If she does that same action against another deputy, it is going to be 2 separate charges. So she will be getting at that point like a month or whatever it is, right? Because at that point, right, she's not like running away, she's not trying to evade arrest, she's not nothing like that, right? She is deliberately trying to murder people, so that's where that charge is going to come into play.
I have just a curious question. What kind of how many real life days do you think Summers would be in jail for?
I don't know, but I mean, honestly, he's already been in there, what, like 2 months now?
He has been in there a long time. But
I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like at the end of that bench, it's gonna be pretty close, if not further than what he actually earned, which is pretty neat in and of itself. Like I like that we're getting that super long prison sentence for him.
Oh, I love that for his character, and I love Johnny Blams too. Go ahead, Kai. You've been wanting to say something. Go. Say.
Did you? You might have done this. Did you introduce who Tank was and what he does?
I introduced that he is a community manager for Wild RP. I told everyone that he's a big part of the law team though too, right? Like are you the lead? Are you considered the like point man as far as staff goes for the law?
I mean, I would say
he's gonna be modest right now.
He
Okay,
is. He did my interview for law.
let me interrupt real quick if you don't mind.
Embarrass him with the truth and
Yeah.
wonderful things.
Please put whatever love emote in the chat you want to put in the chat for Tank. He dumps hours and hours and hours into the law stuff and into the
Mhm.
server as a whole. And I cannot tell you how much of his personal time he spends making sure that the server runs well and that he does the majority of the interviews for law. He
Mhm.
does a lot of looking up. There's a lot of times that the rest of us, like when I was in staff, would say, like, we don't know what's going on. And like Tank would be the voice of reason or the final call or make the hard decisions. Like, it's a hard place to be. And so when he talks about these things, he's very knowledgeable in it. And he has a very good understanding of what is needed for server health and how to balance those things out. So I know that I watched a stream recently where there was some chat about we don't like these rules and stuff. But when you're coming from somebody who's been in it and has a good understanding, played law, played a criminal, and is on the staff side, incredibly valuable information. And what he's sharing with us, like we all should appreciate that he's spending his time answering these questions.
Absolutely.
So.
Thank you, Kai. Thank you.
Yeah,
No,
of course.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, law is definitely one of my my babies since joining the staff team. I will give also a little shout out to Stage, who is I think probably like the most behind the scenes as far as staff law goes, because she's got a marshal. She played deputy in like season 1, and she's got a marshal character who every once in a while she hops on, mostly just for like staff purposes. But Stage is definitely probably my biggest help in. Just because like I have a very physically demanding job, so I can't be on like Discord or anything like that a lot of times during work, and so she takes care of a lot of logistics stuff for me. So I'm going to give her a quick shout out as well because she's fantastic.
She's awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like the rules go, I mean, I definitely I know there's going to be people who, and anytime we make any change with law, there's going to be people who love it and people who hate it and people who want to see how it plays out and people who are scared about how it's going to impact their RP or other RP, right? And I definitely want to assure everybody that every single change and rule, anything like that we make, it truly is with the interest of just creating the best role play and storytelling experience we can for everybody, right? And we try to balance things and keep things fair, and sometimes things work and sometimes things don't work and they need to be altered or whatever the case is, right? But especially as someone who has played law as my main for so long and then played criminal as a main for a long time, I really try to keep both sides and both parts of the experience in mind and trying to just make sure that it's an enjoyable platform for everybody, right? We don't want anyone to feel like they are second fiddle or like voiced NPCs for somebody else's story, which is how sometimes I think people get. I don't think it's a deliberate thing, right? They get very caught up in their story and their characters and what they're wanting to share. And sometimes they forget what it feels like to be on the other side of the equation, what it's like to be on the receiving end of whatever their story is, right? And so any big change we make like this, it's always with that in mind, trying to make sure everybody has a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited. I'm glad we got to talk about like the future of Siska, because I think man, that's just gonna be so good when when it's like Siska's this other setting, this other place that can like you can brew some really cool scenes there, instead of it being like, oh man, this is a punishment, this sucks. Like, it should be a punishment, yeah, because you're limited on where you can go, but I'm so excited for criminals to be able to experience like some prison RP that's like really cool. And I think that will change a lot of the fear and stuff like that about getting arrested, and it'll encourage crime without like encouraging it too much. I don't know. I'm really excited for that. But as far as the rules go, at first I was, to be honest, I was a little hesitant. I like everything except for, I felt initially that the perma was too harsh on the first big crime. Like my thought originally was like maybe give him 30 days and then like if they do something else that's terrible, then perma. But after thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? No, that's a pretty big decision. Maybe a forced perma there. It does make sense. I'm hoping that we can get some harsher punishments just all around. Hey, love bot.
I will say, and I realize there's still going to be at least one opportunity for this or beyond the future, but at this point, it's been so long, I don't give a shit. I have not been robbed once on Oglethorpe. Like, not once.
Never?
And I've been on here a lot. Yeah, I've been robbed a couple times on Herbie. I barely remember them. But I'm stabbed in the neck, but I've been robbed one time on Oglethorpe. Even all this time, I've been running around for like 8 months.
And you run around alone, too.
I think criminals forget that a lot of the civilians play civilians specifically to be victims of crimes. Like, I rarely was robbed on Sawyer, and I carried around so much shit on her just to be fucking robbed. And like, people get scared because they're like, oh, it's personal. People get upset because they have to earn those weapons and stuff. And it's easy to take it from the law because they think, oh, well, they can go in the cupboard and get out a new shotgun, you know? Rob those fucking civilians, Crims.
Yeah.
Not me, though.
It's story.
No,
I
Rob
want
Oglethorpe.
no, not me.
No, somebody robbed Oglethorpe.
Oglethorpe.
I heard Toby.
And now
said
if I get
Toby back.
robbed, if I get robbed, I'm reporting you for meta. Toby is gone.
Toby's gone. Agent.
Toby's gone. He's shipped back home. He was a stolen horse, actually. So.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say Otis only got robbed once by Sive?
That's good.
He only got robbed one time. And he would literally walk up to the bank counter and be like, I would like to deposit $1,000, please.
Yeah. Graham used to do runs down to Armadillo with money, and he did it for months before he was robbed. And he would go down there with money and guns and medicine and all sorts of things, and did it and for the purpose of being robbed.
Never happened.
And he did it for months before
he did it.
Robbed.
He got and then he and I were literally in town. He goes, I'm going down to Armadillo. I'm taking $500 with me. Oh, you're taking $500 with you? Are you sure that's safe? Well, I don't really have that much security, but I have the people down there need this $500. Oh, well, good luck with that $500.
Yeah.
Just, like all full shout in the middle of Blackwater.
Did that work?
I don't know if it was that time, but people did come over and rob him a couple times towards the end. But yeah, Graham is the best.
Nice.
To be fair, I think we even had in-character discussions. Like, I think Julius even like commented on this. He's like, "Who robs a charity? How awful do you have to be to rob a charity? That's gonna go to, like, help people with cholera."
And then he robs his own charity.
Wow.
Exactly. Well, that's why David Parker was such a bad person.
Speaking of those kind of robberies, though, like, are there plans to have like, maybe like some I don't know, some mission that can be robbed, like special deliveries that maybe the law has to do, or maybe civilians can do, where it's like stagecoach robberies, essentially. Like, wouldn't that be cool?
The next big one is going to be trains. Trains right now are a little buggy, so we're fixing that part. But once that is fixed and everything's going, we should have train robberies soon, which I'm really, really excited to see play out on a bit more official scale, because we've definitely done train robberies before, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they were very like player driven, player controlled, that kind of thing, and now it's going to be a very different ecosystem once those are released. And eventually, yes, I think that's kind of like the long term goal, right? Especially when we talk about like business system and things like that. Ideally, people who own businesses will have things that'll be worth robbing and things like that. So it's gonna eventually hopefully open up a lot of avenues for other crimes, right?
Yes, I'm I'm so excited for that. I'm just so excited for the server in general. I think over the next year, it's just going to get so much better. What do you think, Kai? You on board?
I'm as soon as I get over my 7-day addiction, yeah, I'm on board.
Well, I mean, we're talking about a whole year. Like, yeah, we're going to go and play other
Yeah.
games, and that's okay, and that's healthy, I
Yeah,
think.
no, for sure.
But
I'm really excited. You know, I have some story left with Riggs, but I'd really like to get back and I started making a civilian the other day. I really am excited to make a civilian and
Mhm.
put together my own, you know, quest to go do these things, you know, paleontology things where I take money up with us and supplies up with us to go camping and hopefully are robbed and things
Mhm.
like that. Like, it is, as much as we want to put on the staff to create mechanics that allow us to do these things, it also
Right.
is on us as our peers to create that RP for other people.
Yes.
So I think it'll be fun to play a civilian like that can hopefully help create some RP like that.
Yeah. You're right. It is nice to have the mechanics in
Absolutely.
game to, like, you know, facilitate these orange deliveries and like milk deliveries and all that stuff that they've added. That is great. But the creativity that can come with just being like, well, I'm gonna, you know, I have an idea to make a character that is basically a quest giver, and it's like, I want you to scour the lands and find me, you know, whatever,
Yeah.
and just like send people out there and just give RP to everybody, and then, you know, give them a
And-
reward. Like,
And part of the thing to encourage it, I'd say, is that because that's basically like when I made Oglethorpe, it was I want to make a weird character. I want to talk about animals, and I know I can do stuff like, you know, muskrats will bite people. So if I tell people we're gonna go have a muskrat, they get bit. It's hilarious. And also I can say, by the way, if you get a varmint rifle, you're new, you get $12 every time you kill one of these. Like, it's kind of you get stuff to do. But when you do stuff like that, just as it was very evident over the past few months, just because you make your character out to be like a civilian quest giver, there is still going to be some opportunity for you to get caught up in something fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then, like, you actually, it's not like just because you make your character to be something like that and to help other people doesn't mean they can't have their own meaningful and ridiculous story. Like, you know, like, you know, I had stuff going on before that, but then, you know, when Baz showed up, it was just to get caught up in this. I'm very lucky to get caught up in this crazy fucking story that allowed me to just bring out so much more of this. As just, okay, I'm a quest giver who says funny shit, but like, so it's a lot more rewarding, you know, in addition to being rewarding because you're helping other people and giving them RP, you get to get your own stuff into. So it's a good thing to do, and it's the best way to meet people too.
I think too that with the mechanics, it's easy to lean back on. If there's mechanics, it's easier to like give into that RP because you know you're going to quote unquote get something at the end, win something at the end. But you need to trust that if other RPers are creating these quests, if they're creating these silly things, like you're going to go out and get a box and you're going to win $10, and yeah, you can go fishing and get a fish for $10, but that's not what it's about. It's about going out and making the story, and you might get out there and meet a bear or meet a cannibal out there. You're going to get more than $10 out of it. So you need to stop leaning on the mechanics of, yes, I'm guaranteed this money, and more of, if I take this quest or if I take this RP from another player, then I'm going to get actual story out of it. And I think people have a hard time with that too. Like with Sawyer, there for a while, I was trying to play into some of that stuff, and I had a hard time hooking some people into it because there wasn't a guaranteed prize at the end.
Yeah, and like, yeah, that's tough. You know, it's hard. I don't want to judge anyone's role play because it's really hard to say where that character is at. Like, maybe they're, you know, they're going to sleep for the night, or maybe they're in the middle of like something really fucking intense and they don't have time to go and find toenails for my weird character. But man, when you're just open to RP and you yes and or yes but or whatever, and you open yourself to that stuff. Like it's so cool. The
Absolutely.
weird, awesome, funny, dramatic scenarios that you can find yourself falling into. Yeah, I agree. We are at the end of the podcast though.
I'm mainly judging you and who was I judging when I came in? I need a reminder.
Me? You always
No.
judge me.
PM. Who?
I
What?
judge you in the best ways.
Yeah, it was PM
Yeah,
who said like,
PM.
I wish you
I
were
wish
pandas.
I wish you were pandas.
I think that's the last time I'm gonna do a mystery guest. We're just gonna say who the guest is from now on. Okay. Well, Tank, thank you so much for coming on and answering those questions, and thank you so much for like your hard work on the server. Like honestly, the staff is amazing here, and we all love you to death. And like without your guys' hard work and dedication, with your free time to make this thing work, like none of this would happen for any of us. So thank you so much for that.
No, thank you guys for having me. And I've said it a million times on my own stream, but thank you guys who are in the community and even just like Twitch viewers and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it really is what makes Wild RP so special and just so worth it, is that I think we really have something unique here. It's
Yes.
unique from the devs and our coding to the way our staff team runs to the community themselves and the role players we have and the fans and all that kind of stuff. It really is a very unique experience, and I feel grateful to be a part of it all.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like how you mentioned the fan base too. Like people who aren't on the server who just like watching. Great community, amazing community, all the way down from the viewers all the way up to the dev team. Like everybody's awesome, and it's just I feel so blessed to be a part of it, and just happy, just happy. Sad at all.
That's such a good point that the viewers are just as much a part of the community as the RPers.
They are,
so
yeah. Trench and Kai, thank you for coming in. B had to step away. But
all right.
She loves you all.
B drug me into this like 30 minutes before it started.
Yeah. She did.
And then left my ass here.
A little
What
early.
what a terrible time you had.
Yeah, you were suffering so much. It was awful.
Trench, when we get off this call, I'm going to verbally attack you.
I'm going to sleep, so
you're gonna have to do
I'll
it
read it.
tomorrow.
I'll read it around 1:00 in the afternoon, I guess.
That's when you're getting up. Awesome.
Don't worry, he likes
It's
it. when I
5
do that
a.m.
chat.
It is.
No,
oh God,
I
it
don't
is
like
late.
to be yelled at. Don't yell at me.
No, he likes it.
No, I don't.
Some people like to be yelled at. I mean,
I don't. I take offense, and it makes me want to fight them.
I was
so.
gonna say, from tonight's conversation, it sounds like a few people like being yelled at.
yeah, we've discovered
Yes.
that. Kai.
Not me, man. Someone is like,
Yell
oh,
at
yeah,
me.
like you got to do that. I'm like, no, you fucking do that. It takes me out of the moment. So don't yell at me. If anybody wants to have sex with my character, do not yell at me. That's what I think we can learn from all this.
Then why do you hang out with me 24/7?
My
I'm always
Yelling at me.
yelling. I'm always yelling.
Okay.
different issues. It's different issues.
Different issues.
That's
All
because
right.
I hate myself. And on that note,
That's a great place to end. There he goes. All right. Thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week, Saturday at 11 p.m. Pacific. Not sure who the guest is going to be yet, but it's going to be somebody awesome. I hope to see you guys then. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for watching all the wonderful RP that all these amazing people produce. So, bye.
Bye.
Tank, say goodbye.
Bye. Thank you guys.